What's up, everybody? Welcome back to your favorite wrestling podcast. It is the Monday Night Wave, baby. And we back. We back after a long week of life. We back with another one, you know what I'm talking about. We got more wrestling to talk about. We got Raw, we got Dynamite, Smackdown. But before we get into all the graps, let's kick it off real quick with I'm your host, Jay, the lonely one, the babyface. Pod Breaker, Podson Reed, Pod Priest. You know what I'm talking about. We here. But I could not do it without my co-host, the one, the only, the Quattro, Mr. Herico. Take it away.
Howdy there, partners. This is Cowboy Hero here with a quick PSA. Now, I reckon some of you probably are still feeling the withdrawals and shock and anger of what happened in our great country last week. I tell you what, I am too. But you might as well put boots on a buttery biscuit if you think Hero is going to try to bring some levity in what seems like a dark and really world ahead of us. Love your people, and protect your space. We're in this together now. If you let hate divide us, hate will triumph. And just because you can't fight hate with hate doesn't mean you can't fight at all. Now that barrel of hay is out of the way, let's ride on some cattle. He is a wild card. Yes, he is. He is the king of gorgeous, the most handsomest fella you ever see on the west side. He is Mr. Sexy Ass Latori. That's how you yodel. He is Hero, and I am he. Yeehaw, baby. Woo!
Love that. That was great. Shout out to the PSA from the heroic one here. But let's get into this news real quick. At the top, we got the WWE ID prospects have been announced. If you are not aware, if you haven't listened to the last episode, WWE ID are the indie talents that have like a pipeline to go into WWE. They're not technically signed to NXT or anything like that, but they're just like prospects that the WWE is like keeping their eye on, people that they're very interested in.
The indie version of the NILs. They released multiple. They should be all in our chat. The first one was Zeta Steel, which I'm vaguely familiar with her. Then I remember.
I think there was one of those Cappuccino Jones.
Cappuccino Jones. That's just a great name. I started following the page, so here I'll just go to the page real quick. Let me see. We got Marcus Mathers. We got Sam Holloway. We got Sean Legacy. We got Zara Zacher, I believe. Jack Summit. Yeah, Cappuccino Jones, Bryce Donovan, and Zeta Steel. Those are the ones that have been announced thus far. And WWE ID has its own page, and they've been posting about it. And on with the graphics that they post, it shows their hometown. It shows it tells you their finishers. It's pretty cool. And I know I think I said last week, I don't remember if it was on air or off, that I was just I was kind of worried about when names got out, how some of the random internet fans would react. But it seems like everything's been pretty positive. People seem pretty happy. It's been pretty good. And shout out to all this talent, and hopefully their dreams come true.
You know what makes this all so really dope is that if you love wrestling, if you say fuck the brands and you love wrestling, this is great because now these are indie talents that you didn't know before. You Google them up, you YouTube their matches, you're getting to know these talents that are out there. I think the only one I know is Jack Summit. I think he went by Jack Cartwheel in AEW when he did a couple of matches for AEW. And he was doing the cartwheels up the ramp and stuff like that. So that's the only one I'm kind of familiar with. But the rest of them, I have no idea. So I'm definitely gonna do my homework and check them out and see how what they're all about. Just quick little details about them that from what we know so far is that they're able to work the bookings that they're working before. Mm-hmm. Nothing changes from that aspect of it. And that also includes AEW. If they get a book in AEW, they can take it. The caveat comes with from what I know, if they get offered. So if they get offered a contract from an AEW, a TNA, a New Japan, whoever, WWE has the right to sign them first. And if they do sign them first, they immediately go to NXT. They don't keep working the indies that they are currently working. They shoot up the pipeline and go, to Orlando. And I like that. I feel like that's fair. I feel like if WWE wants them, they are prospect talent. Go for it. That's as far as I know right now. It's so new that there isn't any negatives that I can really pull out because I haven't seen it play out yet. Like I don't know. But yeah, it seems pretty fair. It reminds me like a practice squad situation, like the NFL, where you can sign players off of like certain NFL teams' practice squad, even though you may play for the Patriots practice squad. The Dolphins can sign you because they may need like a running back or something like that. That's what it kind of seems like to me.
I mean, you don't have to bring up Miami, but that's fine. Nor my team.
That's fair.
With Miami, like you could have. There's 30 something other. Anyway, my bad. I got at least 2 minutes in me about SmackDown. Trust me, because it was in Buffalo. I can't wait to talk about
it. Oh fuck! I got a funny question. I'm not gonna ask it though. Next up, we have there's a little altercation, not altercation, but little scandal of sorts this week with Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
Where it came out that I think it was maybe like Monday that Jacob Fatu scammed a charity wrestling event for $2,600. Basis that he had lied to organizers that that he had a family emergency, so he no-showed the event. They were out the money, XYZ. A couple of days later, we find out that he actually sent the money. He sent the money back. They just missed the payment. They didn't see the notification come through.
It sounds like something you would see in a TV show. It's so stupid and but I guess that's also just real life. Like real life is really stupid sometimes. It's funny that I don't know because obviously he's only been signed for a few months now, so they had a few months to notice this. We don't know when he sent the payment, but it's based off of the story. It seems like this is something that happened a couple months ago before he got signed, and that
it happened in 2023. Like 2023? That's what I saw.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I don't know how you missed the payment for that long, or maybe he just paid it like as soon as he got the big WWE check or something.
It's possible. We don't know the details.
Yeah, I know. It's just weird to find it after you already threw the dirt on someone's name, where it's like, yeah, the biggest story on Monday was like, oh, Fatu's a scammer, which makes him look bad at that job that he just got and that he's excelling at the moment. But everything's fine. Everything panned out. We even before it came out that he gave money, we were all hashing out our own possible ideas, just to PR manage, just pay some money, say a public apology, whatever, keep it and then keep it moving. But turns out everything was fine. So. It is what it is. But that was a crazy Monday before the crazy Tuesday. So we all thought it was like
check y'all Zelles, Cash App, notifications to make sure you got that money, man. Because don't do that. Initially, like I said, when we talked about it in the chat and whatnot, I was like, yo, just pay them double or whatever, move forward, like send them a little WWE care package. But the fact that they got the money, it was like, oh shit, y'all didn't even check. At least that's what we know. At least that's how it was presented. We don't know the details, but at least that's how it was given to us. Next up is that we got notification that the shows are going back to 3 hours. Raw and SmackDown will be 3 hour shows. Raw will be 3 hours on Netflix, and SmackDown will be 3 hours on, was it USA now?
Yeah.
Going forward. I'm just getting my shit out the way. Nope. Not a fan. Not a fan at all. I get it, but let me explain. I get it because the shows have been lacking depth lately, right? A lot of things feel a little rushed. And if you want to count this week's SmackDown, Bloodline went for like 45 minutes. They had 45 minutes of a 2 hour show.
Bloodline theater.
That's a lot, bro. That's a lot. So it's either you cut down Bloodline theater or you just expand the show. They're going to expand the show.
Yeah, makes the most sense. You're not taking time from Roman.
No, fuck.
And that was the problem. Like when they were on top for the 4 years, people were, a lot of people weren't getting the time because you can't cut down Bloodline theater. Like that's how you
No.
get the trial of Sami Zayn. Like that did numbers. Rock doing his sing along, even though it was dumb, it still did numbers. You know, et cetera, et cetera.
Damn, are they adding an hour just for Bloodline? An
Bro,
hour dedicated for Bloodline that's
I
crazy.
swear we talked about this on one of the episodes where that was my hypothesis. Because again, yeah, it's a 40. Like Roman gets Roman in the Bloodline as a whole get a guaranteed at least 40 minutes.
Easy.
Almost every show,
No question.
especially if Roman is there. If Roman's not there,
And that's not
25.
That's not even including the backstage segments where they walk past each other or maybe like something may happen. Like, yeah, they pulling an hour show. Yeah. Respectfully, they're pulling an hour show.
Did you finish getting your shit off? Because I would like I got my piece as well.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Okay.
Fuck 3-hour shows. I'm not for it, but I understand.
Right. So before this news came out, because this came out what today, right, or late yesterday or whatever. I was going to say I was like, before we talked about Raw, I was going to tell you how I felt, and how I feel is, I think 2-hour Raws are ass right now. The pacing is just not good to me. It doesn't match SmackDown's pacing at all. It's weird. Trust me, I do. I love it being done at 10. I really do. But 3-hour Raw is so much better than 2-hour Raw as far as pacing goes. And I agree with the 3-hour SmackDown, though. People need more time. For me, it's going to suck because assuming it goes into 11, like I'm not going to be able to watch the last like hour of Raw. I got to go to sleep because I got to work. So for me, that kind of sucks. But for the talent, it's good. So I see that and I appreciate that. I don't like 2-hour Raws though. So that's my take. I really don't like 2-hour Raws.
You are right. The 2-hour Raws have been trash. Great for us because it's easy for us to like, pod and get our information in one day, XYZ. And that's just selfishly of me. I do understand that adding another hour to the show gives people more, time to like create their characters and develop stories. With like the spoiler alert, the mid-card titles, like now you have, an opening for like, that to happen. So I get that. And the thing is like, it is, like I said, it is selfish, but we're in 2024. We got DVR. I could just watch the next hour the next day or break it up. Like it doesn't. Yeah, we have all the time in the world to do it for sure.
People got lives. I totally understand. Like, and sometimes, I mean, like if it's a bad Raw, 3 hours is it's
rough.
It's fucking rough. If it's a good Raw, which I mean, most of the H eras have been at least in the last couple months, they have been, and it doesn't feel like a chore as much. It's like. Because there was a couple of Raws, I was like, oh shit, it's already 3 hours. But
it depends. Maybe with the Netflix switch up, and I would assume there's be some kind of roster mix up because they're going to Netflix. Like Netflix wants a star over there.
They got a star. They got a couple stars, but speaking.
But respectfully,
since you're talking about it, because we actually didn't put it in the docket. There was a report saying, I don't know how confirmed it was, but there was a report saying that they want Cody, Punk, and Roman. I think, yeah, it was Cody, Punk, and Roman that Netflix wants. Like, so that goes with what that goes with what you're saying. And that's very plausible. You put Cody, Punk, and Roman on Raw. You do some Bloodline stuff there too. You put Seth and Gunther on SmackDown. Maybe put Drew on SmackDown also.
Priest. I think that's why they're building up Priest.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, all that is a possibility. Also,
yeah.
And we don't know what their commercials are going to be like either. There's still a lot of questions. We don't even know what the live function really is, because like the very first time Netflix did like a live television show, I think it was one of the Love Island episodes, like Love Island reunion, and that shit crashed. And then the last one I remember was like the Tom Brady roast, and it seemed to do okay. But yeah, I mean, we don't know we don't know how that shit's going to function. Like, it might be janky the first month.
But it's going to be an influx of people coming to Netflix, bro. Like, you got to think, like, we're coming over to Netflix and we're fans. Now, imagine the people who are not fans. Like, oh, shit, what the hell is this? Like,
yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. People already have it, sure.
Yeah. But
imagine everybody watching the same thing at the same time. Like, that's a lot on the servers. Like, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, especially if you're not used to live. Like, there's been times where, Game of Thrones, well, not as much, but there was a couple times Game of Thrones fucked up HBO just because of how many people are watching it. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
yeah.
And assuming the first episode is they're going to try to jam pack it, especially if they do those trades. They might we might get we're probably I think we're going to get Cena. We might get the
Cena will be there.
Yeah, so
1,000%. Closing out for the news segment, the WWE Mania tour day. So right before Mania, they do a European tour. It looks like all these shows are overseas, so we don't see any like stateside Raws or Smackdowns before Mania. I don't know the exact date, but I think it's in March they start. I think they start in March.
Well, I mean, we see some. Oh, well, okay. You mean like the month before Mania? Okay, because it's like
the month before Mania
here, which I need to ask.
Yeah, but I think like that's like the tail end of like the USA tour or USA run. Yeah,
pretty much.
Which is going to be dope because we know them international crowds they got it. They got the bag. So just bringing that element of like hype, Monday and Fridays prior to Mania, it's going to feel good. Yeah, that's going to be a really dope environment.
Every show is going to feel important. Not that,
it's
going to feel more important because the crowd is going to be super into it, and we're not going to hear fucking What Chance. So.
Facts. I can't stand the What Chance. But yeah, I think that was pretty much it, right? Like, and like the time.
Oh, those shows. So during those shows, that the European tour, apparently Raw on Netflix is going to start at noon our time, which is cool. Especially for people that might have their Mondays off, such as I. I can watch it before dinner and still have the rest of my day. 3 hours or 2 hours. So that's something that is also going to just be interesting. Just like being able to watch Raw during lunch,
That's true. That is true.
Let me watch it live during lunch. So is what I meant.
It looks like they start in Spain. They go to Germany twice, Belgium, Italy, Belfast. Then we got Glasgow. We have London, Vienna, Amsterdam, and then back to London to close it out. But
it sounds like the Joe Hendry song.
Hey man, say his name. He might appear. Joe Hendry popping up at the European tour would make a lot of sense.
He's popping up at Rumble for sure.
I like that.
I think so. At Rumble for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into Raw. What you got?
Yeah, all right. I'm as ready as a rat in the cheese factory. All right, so the show starts off with Liv and Raquel opening up, talking some shit. Jade and Bianca come out. Liv essentially starts planting seeds of division between them, saying that Bianca's going to stab her in the back. Then all this leads. She starts talking cash shit to Bianca, and Bianca slaps the shit out of her. Loved it.
That was a stiff hit.
Yeah,
not like really like not on purpose, but she hit her hard as fuck.
Hey, shouldn't be talking shit. This leads to the Battle Royal, which is for the number one contenders match, which was a really good. It was a really good Rumble. It was. I want to say there's like pretty much every woman on the card was on the card for like the first 30 minutes. Because I want to say this match was at least the first 30 minutes, this match plus the segment. Only really two noticeable or big note things that I wrote, and the main one or the biggest one is that Bianca and Jade face off. Like, how do you did that give you the feels like it did with the Braun and Jacob face off the week prior? Or no, was that the same show? No, it was the week prior.
No, because I know like eventually that's where they're headed. We kind of like knew that. We kind of created those when we saw them together.
Yeah. Did you like the tease? I guess is what I'm asking.
It's all right. Yeah, you know me. You know that it's like don't give me something that's not going to happen for a X amount of time. When it happens, then I'll give you my reactions up front. What I did like about this is that getting back to Lyra. Right, I've been asking like, where's Lyra at? What is Lyra doing? And she was like the final two in this match. Yeah, so we still see that there's still some not faith, but like, hey, we still want to do things with her. Yeah. So I definitely enjoy seeing Lyra. I also enjoyed the fact that once again leaning back on Io. You know, like we need somebody to come through. Io gonna come through. Io is Mrs. Consistent. Like whatever you need a tag champ, you need a mid card, you need a heel for your babyface champion. Io can do it.
She's one of the best in any company right now. Personally, for me, like just Io's great. Io's amazing.
We gonna talk about it. She might be the MVP of the year for me. I had to I'm gonna think about it, but like as far as like usage rate and like always being ready to go, Io has been ready to go for everything.
Yeah, she be killing it. I mean, yeah, you know, she might slip on a rope every other match, but that shit, everything else she does, like eclipses that every single time. And then every time her and Bianca touch, magic. her again that Bailey WrestleMania match. That's still one of my favorite matches this year. But anyway, we're gonna need a tangent. But yeah, no, yeah.
How did you feel about because inside this match, Jade and Bianca get pulled out from Liv and Raquel.
Yeah.
So we don't really get to see them get eliminated. But how did you feel about like the outside interference pulling somebody out of the match? Like, do you think there was like a problem with that? Like, should it have been done a little differently?
It could have, but I think that it was done. I think it was done correctly, and the reason why is because it teased the Jade and Bianca part, but they never locked arms. They didn't swing on each other. No one else eliminated them, so it doesn't make. I mean, no one else in the actual match eliminated them, so then it's not like no. So essentially, they're not being. You can't consider them weak in the match sense because someone in the match didn't eliminate them. If that makes sense. And it also sets up the match for next week, which they're more than likely going to win anyway. It was an easy way to eliminate them out of the match because they're so strong. Because again, it's Bianca and Jade, and Bianca is like she's the Cena, damn near. So it's like you got to make it. To me, it works because it makes it very believable, and it could be. I don't want to use the word cheap, but I want to say it's a very easy way that they made it all make sense to where it's not like Bianca getting tossed out by some random or something.
Right. And I guess like I was thinking more so like maybe instead of like, you know, Liv or Raquel actually physically pulling them out, maybe you get distracted by looking and then you get kicked out kind of thing. I didn't have an issue with how it happened, but it's like, well, it's a battle royal. Like, why are we? I guess you're the heels. You're gonna pull her out pull out the rope. I get it. There's no rules. There's no DQ or anything like that.
And also, I get it. Liv did get slapped, so you can say it's revenge.
That's true. That's true too.
So yeah, that's why
there's a reason.
Saying. It's like it's the top ramen version of booking. It was just easy. It was just like it made sense and it was easy. So they didn't overthink it or whatever. After that, we get a backstage segment where we see Kofi and Xavier bickering about what happened the previous week. And then that's when we get a Wyatt 6 video with them. They have Miz tied up. And we see a callback to when Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel were a part of the Miz Tourage. If I believe that's what their name was before they became the A team or no, the B team or some shit. But you see a callback to that. So there's storylines of why they took them. Very spooky shit. I mean, what did you think about the whole thing?
They had this man duct tape and sitting in the chair.
Yeah,
he was like, I can lead you guys to Final Testament. He was like, we don't want Final Testament, my boy. We want you. I was like, oh shit, this is frightening. All right. And he put the duct tape back on him and just left him there. I do like the angle. I like the fact that like it's very like not adventurous, but it's like semi-thriller. Like they're trying to we kidnap the Miz and whatnot. I'm interested to see how he gets away. Like how does Miz get out of this particular situation, or are they just going to beat his ass while he's stuck in the chair?
Maybe.
Or do you torment him and the Miz becomes part of the White Six? Like how do you? What do you do?
Either Final Testament's gonna. I feel like okay, so either they drop him, either they drop Miz off half naked and beat up, at like Final Testament's locker room or doorstep or some shit, or I could imagine because there's that one clip after Raw that we saw where Scarlett was like, "We gotta save him." Cross was like, "He's definitely
That's
dead."
true. That's true. They have been leaning with like Cross to save him. Yeah.
Yeah. So like maybe they like try to save them. They come like and they go to the building. Like they go to like an abandoned warehouse or something, and they just see Biz tied up and they save him. But there's no altercation yet. But they're like, you'll see like a TV that just randomly turns on, and they'll have a video like stay out of our business. I don't know. That's how I imagine it probably happening, based on what we see.
Who's the babyface in this? The motherfuckers that's supposed to save Miz, or the motherfuckers who kidnap Miz? Who is the
kidnappers? Because they're we got to consider them dark edgelord superheroes. They're like Spawn or something, but like they're the baby faces, bro. Because Miz turned on R-Truth. He keeps turning on people. He's a snake or whatever. So he abandoned his family, and then we see a video of him again disrespecting his quote unquote family. So yeah, they're the baby faces. They're fair. They just have different methods.
Truth said you gonna die. So Truth tried to help him.
Yeah. After that, we get New Day versus War Raiders. Still some miscommunication between the New Day, which sets up a War Raiders win. It was a solid match at the end. Pretty standard. Not really much to say. I mean,
yeah, there's not really a lot that was going on here.
Yeah, but yeah, it just further sets up whatever's going on with the New Day, which later, I think it was after the show, it's confirmed that I believe next Raw or the Raw after, it's going to be pretty much dedicated to the New Day. So either we're going to get the split or Big E's coming back. Something big is going to happen. Like they're dedicating a whole show to this 10-year anniversary or whatever it is. So, yeah, something. Expect something.
If the writing's on the wall, because like this match, there's definitely the miscommunication was intensified, right? To where like Woods is overstepping, Kofi's kind of like a little like more peeved at him like overstepping. I think this was also the match Woods like tagged himself in while Kofi was in like full momentum to do like the SOS.
Yeah. Which real quick, because every time someone keeps calling Xavier out online, but like the mistakes he makes, he's like post a video of like, no, see, like this is what I meant to do, or this is what it was supposed to be, or something like that. And he showed an old clip of the New Day doing that exact sequence where Kofi like threw someone to the side of the ring, he hit the tag, the Trouble in Paradise, then the Limit Breaker elbow drop or whatever. It's Limit Breaker elbow drop, and then it was like, so he was trying to do the same thing, but since emotions are a little tense, like Kofi took it a different way, or he's like, you killing the momentum. Like, it's very interesting. Again, it's very similar to a lot of other characters where it's like you can kind of see why they're upset. They're making some points. You can see more of both sides. Not everything is like it's clear and white. Like, because with Kevin Owens, like you can see some of his points. It's like these motherfuckers have been beating me up for 8 years. You just teaming with them. Like, you can see a lot of their points. So.
Right.
I think it's interesting writing and direction.
To touch on that, I think because KO this week wore the shirt KO's right or something like that, or Kevin's right.
Yeah.
Or Kevin was right. I was like, he is, look, the theme has been people who have been right. Drew was right.
He was.
KO was right. Like, that's the theme that's going on. But I have been seeing those Woods tweets, and like, I think he'd be like jogging. He'd be like explaining like, the whole thing and whatnot,
yeah,
which is, I really love. No, I mean like he's jogging and talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I was just telling you, I didn't watch all of that. Similar to the Rock stuff.
Okay.
Like, I ain't watching 8 minutes.
No. I pop in, but like once you got like a 3-minute like limit for me. But to tangent off of that, you see like the one where he's tweeting at Kenny because he had posted that he was like it was wrestler, gamer,
cosplayer.
It was like
cosplayer, pro wrestler, gamer, cosplayer, something like that. And Kenny said some sly shit.
Kenny was like, I don't know about that first one. And he had said something back to Kenny like,
the first one. I didn't see the response.
Yeah, he said something like, I'll prove that. I'll prove the first one next week if you've been watching, right? If you've been watching, I've been wrestling or whatever. But I'll do it even more so next week. But how's that tummy ache of yours? And I was like, oh damn, these motherfuckers are shooting, and they're real life friends. But it's really funny to be like, oh, how's that tummy ache? It's like, oh, it's a little shot. I respect it.
See, I would have took a shot at him and Ospreay. I'm like, you ran from the grind, nigga.
Kenny was about to die. That man Kenny was up there sweating, cutting promos on pain pills. Kenny needed to be out.
Well, yeah, no,
Kenny should have been.
He came back way too soon. Anyway, he came back in in that buff bodysuit thing, like all taped up. Yeah, duct tape around his.
Kenny needed to be put on the shelf a long time before that. But yeah, War Raiders end up winning that match. So War Raiders move forward inside the tag team tournament, right? So are they the ones who face Finn and JD next, or is there one more?
I don't remember. Because this match was just like a random like grudge match, sort of. Well, not a grudge match, but like,
was it? I thought this was to like push them forward.
Well, no, because New Day already got eliminated. They got eliminated last week, so this match was just like to prove. Yeah, I'm pretty sure War Raiders are the contenders. If not, they have one more match.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. See, that's the problem with 2-hour Raws. I feel like they skipped this. I feel like we either missed a step or they skipped a step, or just to wait to next week. I don't know.
It's probably me. They probably said it in like the beginning of the match, but
I didn't write it either. We got a Sammy thing. Sammy. All I wrote is Sammy is a man of the fucking people. He's spitting. Jey comes out and he's like pretty much asking Sammy, "Did you mean to do it?" Jimmy also comes out, and I know it's either way. It's a really good promo, and it's really good interaction between the three of them. There's a moment where like Sammy's like, "I'm not like you have a problem trusting me. What about you, Jimmy? Like you did all these things. I mean, you brought me into this family first." It's really it's Bloodline theater. It's the soap opera of wrestling. It's like when people say, "Oh, soap opera is male," or wrestling is male soap opera. This is that part. This is the dramatics right here, and you see some really good emotions. It's really good character work, and it pretty much ends with Jey asking Sami to come to SmackDown and like let's see if we could all work together so that we could fight this new bloodline, essentially.
Yeah, there were some dope lines here. The one that you mentioned about like the trust angle. He said something like, "Oh, I can't be trusted," but you know, you kicked Roman in the face. You kicked Roman in the face. You kicked me in the face. Like he was just telling him, like, "Yo, like I'm not the one. You brought me into the bloodline, but you're the one out here fucking like turn on everybody." Like, and so it's like, okay, well, Sami is right. Like Jey was the problem child. Jey was the one. I won't say problem child. But he was definitely the one that was enforcing a lot of shit. Jey was the enforcer. But yeah, like you said, this ends up being Sami's invitation to go to SmackDown so he can talk to the tribal chief and try to hash out their differences. And we'll touch on that when we get to SmackDown because they definitely kind of like they don't pop off, but
it's a good
I
moment.
guess we'll see.
That's
Also, to listeners, like this one is still in Saudi. This Raw was taped in Saudi.
Oh, so yes.
The production was still fucking solid. they were,
and the crowd was solid, which we talked about. What's going to happen in the European tour? The crowd was great. No what chance, nothing like that. Yeah. Next match, we get a random banger, which was Dragon Lee versus Chad Gable, and Dragon Lee eventually gets the win. But yeah, no, to me, this match was fire. They honestly they even did some AEW shit. They sold some German suplexes and shit.
They did. They did.
I was like, look at them.
I was waiting to see what the fuck niggas thought about. Cause I was gonna flame some people up. But yeah, they was definitely no selling some shit, and I loved every minute of it.
I was like, all right, we doing a move into another move. I was like, okay,
yeah,
but it looked good, and they still told a story. But yeah, no, overall it was a good match, and I believe I tweeted this, but I was like, let's get a best of 7 of this too. Like, let's run this up because this match was fire, and honestly, I could see.
It was.
I mean, I saw someone tweet like, "Oh, Dragon Lee should be Braun Breaker's next opponent." I'm down with that. I'm also down with Chad, but then again, that's two heels versus heels.
No, don't send Dragon Lee that way. Only because we know that like it would be great exposure for Dragon Lee, right? If we're looking at the optic way, oh, it's a great opportunity for Dragon Lee to go against Braun Breaker, but we're trying to build up Dragon Lee. They dropped like the promo for him like a couple weeks ago. Like this is his first match against Chad Gable. Like continue to build him so that way if he does lose, he's still able to move. You know, I don't want him to get speared and get beat by Braun and then like he falls to the wayside. Like at least build him up so that he can withstand the blowback of not beating Braun. Because I don't think he's going to beat Braun if it happens.
Oh no,
I think
he probably
Braun's
wouldn't
be
beat Braun.
champion.
I mean, he could get a couple wins though, but I think him versus Braun for a PLE would be, or at least the main event of a Raw would be a good look. Yeah, I wouldn't be
Somewhere
mad
down
at
the
it,
line,
but if it's
for sure.
if it's built correctly, I'm not mad at it. Just like in 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks, just get a couple more wins. He could beat Gable one more time, and Adam Pearce is like, all right,
you could have Braun Spear Ray, and that could be like the kickoff into that. That too. Have a 1v1, have Ray versus Braun, and then Braun goes unhinged and spears Ray, and that just opens the door. Huh. We did did we talk about the Gunther promo real quick, or is that next?
That is next. And before the Dragon Lee thing, there was a Seth promo which I forgot to talk about, but it was cool. But yeah, after that, we get the Gunther promo because I believe it was Kathy. She was like, how do you feel essentially about losing? And Ludwig is like, why would you dare ask him a question? Cody's undeserving. And then Gunther cuts him off. He's like, no, he was this was almost a babyface of Gunther based off his like response. I'm not saying that he turned babyface or anything. I'm just saying based off the response. Because he was real humble. He's like, he was a better man. I don't remember what else he said about it, but essentially he was like, no, he was worthy. We're going to run this back, but he beat me fair and square. So, and then he's like, I got to do better. And he looked at Lou, he's like, you got to do better. Okay. So here's something I'm missing. Okay. So during Seth's promo, because Gunther repeats the same thing, and this was something that was funny, like during Seth's promo, because they're talking about the Fatal 4-Way that's happened later in the show for the number 1 contender. And he's like, I'm about to be in a ring with 2 really good wrestlers, and and then Gunther says something very similar, where he's like, for this contenders match, I'm looking eager to fight whoever comes out. There's 3 world-class champions, and then there's Dom, which is funny shit.
That shit was funny.
And then like he's like, there's Seth, and then there's Priest, and then there's Sheamus. You were supposed to beat Sheamus, weren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Wild. You didn't do that, huh? That's crazy. and then he's like, we got to be better.
Funny how he's still walking around.
Hit him with the Hancock. We have to be better. I will be better. Like, you got to be better too. So, and then Ludwig was like, the fuck this motherfucker talking about? He's switching up on me? Like the way his facial expressions
like, huh?
Is this nigga switching up on me?
You don't say this publicly in front of people?
So how'd you feel about it?
No, I love the promo. I love the slight like, hey, like I'm a competitor. Cause at the end of the day, Gunther's a competitor, right? He's gonna tell you the real from the jump. He don't make excuses. He's gonna be like, hey, I lost. He was the better man. But that shit ain't gonna happen again.
Yeah,
I guarantee you won't. So,
and one of our first instances of that that I recall, at least in this last like year or so, was when he fought Jey for the IC title, and then like that following week, as we talked about it, I was like, I never heard him say like, he's like, I was close to taking that out. I was like, whoa, he's speaking like he's actually talking about like real shit. Like he's not making excuses.
When I think like his first promo with Sami, like where he didn't want to fight Sami, he was like, you got me the last time, but like this time that shit ain't gonna happen. So he's very vocal when it comes to like them second matches or second times. Like, hey, I'm learning. You beat me once, you won't beat me again. And I do love that about Gunther's character, is that there's like slight like humility, but there's also like the competitor. There's also like, I'm not gonna be no sore loser. I'm gonna take my L's on the chin, and then the next time I see you, it's up.
Yeah. You're going to get chopped in your chest.
For sure.
Yeah, all right. So after that is when we get the Fatal 4-Way #1 contender match. So it's the main event.
Mm-hmm.
Priest comes out first, which his music is a little tweaked. So pretty much new entrance music, new
Mm-hmm.
pyro, sort
New
of
video package, like
new
like
background.
it's a new thing for him.
Yeah, and then it starts off with all of them pretty much jumping Dom because everybody hates Dom again, hilarious as shit. And it was a pretty good match. It was honestly, it was a really good main event. But eventually, Bronson comes out and he attacks pretty much everybody, and they all attack him back. Well, I think except for Dom. But there's a moment where he attacks Sheamus, he attacks Priest, he puts Seth through a table, and then there's a moment where Sheamus attacks Bronson. He's like, what the like. Yeah, pretty much Sheamus and Priest are like, what the fuck you guys? What are you doing in our match? Like, get the fuck out of here! They start trying to beat him up too, but he lays Bronson. They make him look strong as hell because he lays all of them out. He hits a tsunami on Priest. He hits a tsunami on Sheamus, I believe. Dom almost gets a quick win from that, but it doesn't happen. And Priest wins. So
we talked about it to where like, oh, who would win? I had assumed that or thought that like Finn would have interfered in this because Finn's been asking about Priest. So this was the proper outcome without the Finn interference. Like this makes the most sense. We talked about the Sheamus outcome of him winning, but that could only take you to like a main event of a Raw.
That's what I said.
He
can
like,
do Bill. That's what I said though, just based on the excitement of it, because we've seen them run that shit multiple times. But him and Gunther or him and Priest only fought once. Him and Seth never fought. So I'm like, out of those matches, which one to put on a PLE? I'm going to choose Priest or Seth over Sheamus and Dom. So
right.
that was my logic behind it.
So now that we have, first, Seth did a pedigree in this match. I ain't seen Seth do a pedigree in a minute. Maybe it's just because like, I haven't seen Seth wrestle a lot just because he's been injured. But
he has not wrestled as much this year.
Like he pulled out the pedigree. I was like, I ain't seen that one. I know you still had that in you.
His knees working.
It's still there. But now that we got Priest versus Gunther again.
Mm-hmm.
Are we okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. This is a chance, assuming Finn doesn't do anything, this is a chance for Gunther to get a definitive win, because it's kind of in his character to run shit back to get that definitive win, like we saw with Randy.
Mm-hmm.
So you said it, same thing with Sami. So this could be the chance to hit, for him to get a clean, definitive win over Priest, to keep his conscience clear. Because again, like you said, he's a competitor and all this other shit. Yeah, I'm fine with it. It keeps Priest in the mid-title run area level. Yeah, I think it's fine, because obviously Seth is going to do his other. Seth is going to continue his stuff with Reed. Dom is going to do whatever hell Dom is going to do. Probably go after, I don't know, and then who knows what Sheamus is going to do. But
WWE.
Would you? Yeah, no, because it's supposed to happen. This happens on both shows. I thought it was really funny that both Iyo and Priest won the #1 contenders, and they were both recently the last Money in the Bank winners,
last champions.
Yeah, and champions also.
I like that. I thought that's a cool little callback. Yeah.
I didn't see anyone else talk about it, so I feel special.
So WWE not announced, but there's rumors that WWE's happy with Cody holding his belt, right? They don't really have. There's no, I guess, storylines that they're thinking about where Cody may be dropping the belt.
That's rumor. I also seen a rumor that they might want KO to get it at Saturday night. I don't know.
We'll see.
Based on the way he's moving.
We'll see.
Yeah. But continue.
With that being said, if Priest beats Gunther, is that an issue? Because I would assume that, like, I think Gunther loses his before Cody loses the WWE Championship. I think that's a fair assessment. Is it okay, or would we feel some type of way if Priest walks out champion? Because they have been pushing Priest. This is a new like video package, new gear, new look.
I don't. Okay, so I think it would be the wrong call. I don't know. I don't want to say. I don't want to say it would be. I would be upset, but I think that would be the wrong call. Again, like Gunther, when he does shit, when he runs shit back the second time, he usually wins. It's that it's that quote from Thor in Infinity War is like he didn't fight me twice, you know. So yeah, so yeah, I think that'd be the wrong call to play patty cake with the main title right now, because again, there's a part of me that feels like they're after Seth is done with Reed that they might run Seth and Gunther to get the title back on Seth so that it could be him and Punk.
Punk, yeah.
Or also, I mean, also there's rumors that it's supposed to be Punk and Gunther for. Well, no, never mind. So yeah, I think that would be the wrong call to play patty cake with the title between those two. I think Gunther's going to get the definitive win. I do think he will lose it before Cody, but if the Embers are I mean, if the rumors are true as far as like KO maybe trying to win or maybe win that Saturday night main event, who knows? Because that's next month.
Do we think that like the KO Cody match won't happen at Survivor Series?
That's very plausible as well. Cody doesn't have a match yet, but they could run, I don't know. They could run it back. They could do a stip or something. I don't know. But you're right. That's very plausible. But again, we have 2 War Games matches. We're probably gonna we might get Naomi and Jax.
Put a tag match on the card. Just give me a tag team title match. That's all I want. Just Motor City Machine Guns at Survivor Series against Profits. Give it to me. Just something, yo. I want to see the tag team belts defended on a PLE. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah. Well, then we should do the Raw ones and someone get the put that shit on the War Raiders. Let's get it cracking.
Fair. All right, we're gonna take a quick little break and then we're gonna jump into Dynamite and go over everything that happened on Wednesday. We'll be right back.
Right.
And we're back, people. This week on AEW Dynamite, we kick off the show with the Hurt Syndicate. They come out all together, the faction, with a new theme, which is actually fucking slaps and made it to my workout playlist. But yeah, music's hard. Music's hella fucking hard.
Yeah, the music.
But
cool. Cool.
The presentation was cool.
The presentation was cool.
Came out.
They look like stars.
Yeah, they look like them niggas. Yeah, the black and gold. They was. Yeah, I liked it.
I have a question, and it's not for you per se.
Okay.
But if you could help, maybe alleviate. Anyway, so is it only okay for people of the same race to be in factions when it's not in WWE? Or is it only bad when it's in WWE? And I'm asking this, and obviously Hurt Syndicate, they're friends, cool. Then you got Beast Mordos and Roosh and whoever the hell, I can't remember the name, respectfully. And you got all the Whitepool Combat Club people. So I'm like, I just want to know when we're going to keep the same energy.
What's the difference? I can tell you what I think it is for me. When you are together and let's say you're in an all black group like the Hurt Syndicate, and you have opportunity to be presented as winners, it's different, right? When we think about respectfully, when we think about LWO, they're not winners, not because they're not of them personally what they have, what they are, but what they have control over. You know, we haven't seen LWO come out and like, you know, hey, like we're lining up 5 wins in a row. We haven't seen it happen like that, right? When it comes to profits, once again, dope team, haven't like accumulated like wins. Very successful team, but have been in a drought for the past 4 years. This came out of their mouth.
Right. I mean, but a part of that was also Bobby's fault when they got attached to Bobby because he got injured several times and whatever else.
For sure, but in the creative outlook of it though is that hey, Bobby gets hurt, we could still have you guys win. You know, we can still make you look good. I think that's also a little detriment to them too. Is that like, oh, Bobby left, and now you guys have no value. Profits always have fucking value. Bobby didn't really add anything to them. He actually took away from them, if in my personal opinion.
Right. Well, I mean, a part of that, I'm not trying to say face or anything, but a part of it was that the Bloodline had titles. No one was beating the Bloodline, and after that, it took until the titles to be split up because the titles didn't get split up until Mania. So it took
we
like
can
a whole
respectfully
other year.
say slightly bad booking with the belts.
Yes, because
kind of like fuck.
They were tied up for a whole other after Sami and KO finally beat the Usos. They were still unified until a whole fucking year later, which hindered a lot of teams.
To bring it back to my point that the booking's different. So if the black groups are in great booking, it's fine, right? It's not a matter of them losing if they're used creatively and used in the right way. Like opportunities are there, booking is there. I'm okay with it. The issue is just when it's bad booking. Like I said, when we talk about LWO and like, hey, Zelina should be in the women's title like area, the booking's just bad because you're not allowing her to like get any kind of stock for us to believe that she's capable of like winning this match. When clearly it's all scripted and we can book however we want to book. Anywho, to go back to your original point, that's how I feel about it. Just creatively, creative changes a lot of outlook on like the groups for me. But anyway, back to like the promo. They look great. Music was great. The promo that they cut here was good, where MVP talks about like the business cards he's been handing out. Basically says if they hand you a card, it's an honor. You know, like we want you to be a part of us. You know, we were looking at you, we're scouting you, kind of thing. And if you reject that, then you end up getting beat down like Swerve did. The promo ends with Swerve coming out and basically declaring that's going to be him versus Bobby at Full Gear. And that's where that goes. I kind of didn't like the fact that Swerve came out. I think you could have did that on a second side on another part of the show because it didn't really add anything to me. Him coming out like frustrated, like honestly, you could have had him sit until next week and then like, no, Bobby, meet me at Full Gear kind of thing. Because he just got choked out last week. That's where this whole issue was coming from. So yeah, we get Bobby versus Swerve at Full Gear as one of the matches on this card. Interested. I'm not interested in seeing this. I'm very curious to see where they go with this. To be honest, like if we're talking about AEW, like the 3 main stories that they're telling right now are very interesting to me, which are the Hurt Syndicate, the Blackpool Combat Club, or now newly titled Death Riders, and the Ospreay Fletcher one. I am semi-interested in that. Speaking of that next match, we get OC, we get Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin versus the newly acquired Death Riders, which are Claudio and Pac. They have a new entrance, new video package or like video entrance package, new music, solid. Really solid match, really good energy throughout this match. One of the craziest spots was when fucking Claudio just launches fucking Darby off the goddamn.
Yeah, I mean, crazy, dumb. I mean, there's a lot of words for it.
If you know something wild gonna happen if Darby in the match.
God, it's so. But it's so frustrating sometimes, man. It's so frustrating. I cannot believe I share a birthday with this man. Also, I find it funny that Orange Cassidy's. I mean, I know why this is happening. So I just think it's funny that because last week Orange Cassidy was like, I'm gonna do this on my own because a lot of people don't know the danger, and then the next week he's in a tag match. Again, I know why they're doing this. They're setting up, the team babyface versus team heels. I get it. It's just you gotta. This is why we need a thread so that we're not saying things that don't make sense.
Right.
That's all. But yeah. Okay, continue. Like, how do you feel about the? I mean, they are obviously Death Riders they're being booked very strong. They keep beating the fuck out of everybody. And rumor has it it's going to happen a lot more, which is fine. So, like, where do you see this? Okay, where do you see this going? Because what I'm seeing online is that obviously this sets up for the new baby faces. So for example, Orange Cassidy, Darby, Garcia, insert whatever other name. You got that babyface faction. You got the possibility of the Elite turning babyface, which is why I think Young Bucks are disappearing for a while, because they're going to probably try to switch them babyface, which that's a whole other can of worms that I cannot wait to rant about. And then you got, you got the Hurt Syndicate who's trying to take shit over too. And at some point, all these groups are going to clash. It's almost like Risk or something. So I guess. So my question is, where do you see this group? Like, which group is going to take these people out? Do you think, or which group is going to be the main and rivals?
So it's very interesting because how I see it right now is that first with like these two, with Cassidy and Darby, like I said, I speculated before that Darby's going to be the one that takes out Mox, and I think this is kind of like another like moment where Darby's going to watch somebody try to take out Mox, and Mox is going to fuck them up. So Darby's now going to witness Bryan getting choked out. He probably witnessed OC gets fucked up at Full Gear, and that's going to spark even more shit in Darby. So I think that Darby's going to be the super baby face. As far as like the rest of like the roster, or the rest of the AEW in general, Hurt Syndicate is going to be the heels. I personally would like to see Bobby get the win on Swerve. I think Bobby needs to get the win on Swerve, and they could just run it back again. That's a typical AEW thing where they'll run it back at the next pay-per-view, but I think this first one definitely should be Bobby. I think that also with babyface, you also have a weird babyface thing right now where they're trying to create new babyfaces. Or not new ones, but flipping teams. For example, United Kingdom or Undisputed Kingdom, my bad. Undisputed Kingdom is flipping. Cole is looking like the babyface. Also, kind of to piggyback off of that, I think they're flipping House of Black to baby faces. I think the ending of the match with him and Cole this week, people thought or speculated that he was leaving. I thought it was more so after like he had came out and said he wasn't going anywhere, which can be true or not. I don't fucking know. But I thought that was more so, okay, maybe it was like a baby face shaking your opponent's hand, you beat me kind of thing. And that could be them changing to be baby faces as well.
Yeah.
To where if you have
Bang Gang also switched up recently as well.
Yeah, so we're creating a whole different line of like solid like baby faces. Bang Bang Bullet Club, Bang Bang Gang is baby faces. House of Black looking like baby faces. Undisputed Kingdom baby faces. So therefore, you have some formidable like people to go after those heels. Will that all play out? Probably not.
Learning tree.
Yeah, but he has to do shit on ROH. Fuck it. Here we go. We're gonna skip over this real quick. Conglomeration versus the Learning Tree in a Fight Without Honor, which is basically another like non-DQ hardcore match. It's probably the third one I've seen, fourth one that I've seen Jericho do like within like 2 months. So at this point, once again, still fun matches to watch just because it's tables and everything like that. It's very exciting from that element. But I need this to be over with. I need like just go ROH, do your thing, build them up and get them on TV. But as far as like, seeing Mark Briscoe fight Jericho anymore, I don't need it.
I don't want to see Ishii fight Jericho. Honestly, I don't want to see Jericho fight anybody. But if
it has nothing to do with Ishii, because Ishii's dope. But like Jericho is just Jericho.
I mean, yeah, but they fought like a bunch of times.
So many times, yeah. This is
So
true.
that's why I'm like, I don't want to see him fight. Like, I don't want to. I mean, like Ishii is fine to me. I don't get it. So I'm just neutral on him. But I don't want to see this matchup anymore. The fact that like Briscoe lost and he just instantly came out is just like, come on, seriously. It's like they just
Right.
fought like a month and a half ago.
No, for sure.
Yeah, whatever.
For sure, man.
But yeah, a violent trios match, and
it serves its purpose, but the purpose is not like it doesn't push a story. It doesn't. It's time that can be put somewhere else. Like we could have put another match here. Just not them, not Jericho. Death Riders have a promo where Orange Cassidy is in the ring, and he reminds Orange Cassidy that Wheeler Yuta doesn't owe him anything. They're in Philadelphia, which is Yuta's like hometown. And the premise to this promo was that Yuta used to sleep in like Orange Cassidy's house, like he was there, like if they were roommates or whatnot. And so Orange Cassidy's a little disappointed in the way like Yuta's turning out. Mox says Yuta doesn't owe him anything. He's a soldier in his army now. And he says he's also disappointed in Darby Allin, who he also had high hopes for. Just once again tying threads there to where like Mox is focusing on Orange Cassidy, was bringing up Darby, just keeping those threads together. We then get an Adam Cole versus Malachi Black match, which I thought was great. I didn't put a lot of notes down on this match. I enjoyed this match. It wasn't as quick paced as I wanted to be, and I would assume that's just because Cole is just coming back. But this is a singles match for Malachi Black. They did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
Crazy.
No, go for it. No, I was gonna say. Well, I thought it was funny that because it's towards the ending of the match, but Adam Cole does his spray tan with his knee pads on. I just think that's funny.
I didn't notice that. Did it like the?
Oh no, yeah, because when he pulled the knee down, like his knee is like white as shit. Like, someone took a screenshot of it. It was like you're spray tanning with your gear on, bro. When you know you're gonna take the knee down, the knee was white as fuck. That's funny. It's like, Cole, what are you doing, bro? Come on.
That's fucking funny. Malachi hits like a the end spot in here that was really fucking dope, but Cole kicks out of it and it leaves Malachi and it's like, oh shit, like what am I gonna do? He kicked out of my finisher. Nobody kicks out of my finisher. And he just sits there and takes the finish from Adam Cole, which I did not get. Like I get it from like the Warrior standpoint of like, if my shit didn't work, fuck it, like knock my head off and finish me. But I think Adam Cole's first loss should have happened here with Malachi Black. And if
the goal is though, he has to win. Doesn't he have to win? Is it 3 matches in a row or is it just 3 matches?
I thought it was just 3 matches. The best of the first to 3.
Well, you can't.
That's what I thought it was.
Like as much as I would love Black to be a winner, it wouldn't have made sense for him to beat Adam for this. Because like they're trying to get Adam versus MJF, for full gear, and again, like it. Take a drink if you heard me say this. It's too soon to beat him. Granted, obviously Cole's been in this company for a while now, but since he's coming back from injury, and they're trying to retcon him as a babyface, it's a little too soon to beat him because this was only
his next one. This is only his second match. Beat him.
Who is it? Is it Brody?
No, it's Konosuke. So MJF sent the money in the Dynamite ring to Don Callis, saying, "Hey, I need you to take care of somebody for me, take care of a boom baby for me," and it sets up Takeshita versus Adam Cole next week as his third match.
Wait, okay, are you sure? Are you sure Boom Baby wasn't Young Justice and the Costco guys?
No, it wasn't the Costco guy.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Okay. I'm saying there's a lot of trademark infringement going on. You do a lot of shared catchphrases.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, so he faces Konosuke next week. That has to be the first loss. Konosuke should not lose clean to Adam Cole. Not at all. No way. Not having TK. Not having it.
Well, I mean, there's a chance that he doesn't lose. Well, I mean, based off of what we see later in the show, I think there's an easy way for Konosuke to lose this match.
I'm interested. What do you mean? How?
Doesn't Will Hobbs show back up, or is that ramp or collision that I'm talking about?
No, he shows up this show.
Right. So we get another babyface faction with Ospreay, or not a faction, but at least because the Ricochet did a Ginyu Force joke when you see all them pose, but you get Will Hobbs, who's a face now and not a part of the Callis family. I still need way more explanation on that. And then Ospreay, then Ricochet, and then the other dude in the Aussie Open whose name I don't remember.
Mark Davis.
So, I mean, obviously Will is beefing with Fletcher / the Callis family. Will Hobbs has some beef with the Callis family for whatever reason because he switched up. And then obviously Mark Davis has issues with Kyle Fletcher as well. So in saying that, one of them could cause interference, causing Konosuke to lose.
It's possible, but I would hate it. It's possible, though. It's highly possible. And I think I also got to get away from my personal feelings with my favorite wrestlers losing. Because Malachi, I don't think ever should lose, but that's because I love the way he fucking wrestles. And then Konosuke is probably top 2 in AEW right now as far as performers.
Yeah, facts. Honestly, Malachi are probably or those are probably my 2 favorites for sure as far as performance and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want them to lose either. But I mean, it doesn't have to be clean.
We can. If it's for story wise
or some shit, knowing them,
if it's done correctly and for the sake of the story, I'm all for it. I think it's perfect. Just don't, especially because it doesn't make any sense for me to where Adam Cole's coming back. He's struggling a little bit with the first 2 people he's fighting. He's on this redemption tour, like you said, of rebuilding Adam Cole. But you just came back. Somebody got to punch you in the mouth to show you, oh, you still got a lot of work to do, kind of thing. To where maybe it might bite him in the ass even more if he doesn't get the 3 wins and Roderick faces MJF, to where that lights up an even bigger Adam Cole. Oh, I couldn't get my 3 wins. I wanted to fight Max, but I couldn't. And then you don't fight Max, then you can fight Max at the next pay-per-view. But I think it would do more for his story to have him lose because he's not the same guy. That's the whole thing. Buddy said he was fragile, right? In this match, Malachi caught his ankle, dropped it down, and said, I didn't want to win like that. So these are now 2 times where the House of Black has spared him, we're not gonna he tried to walk away. He tried to walk away in the Buddy match, and Buddy called him back out. No, we're not gonna walk away from this. You're gonna finish fighting me.
Yeah, you called him a bitch.
So yeah, pretty much. And so
you called him a bitch.
They've been hinting at you can't finish nothing. Konosuke's not gonna give you no slack. Konosuke's not gonna put your foot down. Konosuke should use everything he can to take advantage of your weaknesses and whatnot. At least that's how it should play out.
If he's a real alpha, if he's a real red pill, sure. You know what I'm saying? We out here
for sure.
Not we.
And it's funny because that also kind of ties into House of Black turning babyface, just the way they've been doing things lately. And I think all 3 of them have lost their biggest matches. Brody lost against Darby, Buddy just lost, and Malachi just lost. They're trying to do something with them.
Yeah. Hey man, I'm only saying
the crazy part is that he has a crazy singles record in AEW. It's 18 and 5 or some shit like that. It's fucking wild.
And that's through the course of 4 years.
That's what I'm saying.
This is wild, right?
No, for sure. If you ask me what I would do with Malachi Black is that this whole November, December is Continental Classic thing. Either you put him in that, he wins that, he beats Okada, or you have him do something for the Russell Dynasty pay-per-view in Tokyo. Do that. Also, side note, I looked this up the other day. Remember we were talking about Mania tickets? I don't know if we talked about I looked at the Tokyo tickets, and it's cheaper to go to Tokyo, there and back, see the show than it is for Mania, which is fucking wild.
Yeah, I did not know that, but I'm also not. Oh, I'm a little surprised just because the flights. But my cousin, she just went to Tokyo. Her and her man. She brought me back something from the Pokemon Center. I love her.
That's solid.
It was a little
That's
Totodile.
solid.
So cute. But yeah, her and I have a coworker who's from Osaka, and like they're like, yeah, it's you can go there and you can get a couple Louis bags and leave, like without spending that much money. Like things are a little cheaper there. It ain't like this. Like it ain't like how it was like when I went to Jamaica. Like in Jamaica, I felt like a king almost based off how rich I was. But also, it was my honeymoon, so I was riding a high. But there was moments I was just tipping people willy nilly. He's like, "Fuck it, you want $1? Here's $1." I was Oprah, but yeah. So the currency exchange ain't that crazy, but it is still cheaper to get shit there.
Yeah, so, I was like,
so that's not that crazy.
I looked at it because, man, if I can't go to Mania, like, let me see how much like the tickets in the Tokyo would be. I was just looking. I was like, this is affordable.
Just the fact that you even had that thought process. If I can't go to a show in my own country that's 3 states away, let me try to fly across the world to see if it's cheaper. Like, just that thought process alone is crazy.
It's nuts, nigga.
It's like, fuck, I can't go to Vegas. How much is Japan?
Bring the prices down. Shit. I'm gonna go to some kind of show, damn it. Japan it is. I was like, damn, it is though. I was like, I could do this.
I can't go to New York, Paris. Like what?
Let me just see. And I'm talking about like hotel, flight, and the venue. Like, bro, like it's definitely under like 8-9 bands or whatever. Like considering like WWE, like you had to pay what fucking like 14 to be like in like the or next to the ring, 14,000. So yeah, I was looking. I don't know if it's a possibility, like I should act on it, but it's definitely like a real thing, which would be dope though. To see like Japanese wrestling would be fucking fire. That's definitely a bucket list like thing I would love to do. Like that would be fucking cool.
If you have the opportunity to do it, do it. You might as well do it now. We don't know what the next 4 years is going to look like, bro. They might be our enemy soon, so you might as well go. Okay.
It's not funny. It's not funny at all. Fuck, that's terrifying. All right.
No one knows what a tariff is. We don't know what's the shit going on.
This is fucked. Oh, fuck, yeah. We got to laugh at the pain. Laugh at the fucking pain. I'm going to speed through these real quick. So, Switchblade and Hangman still beefing. He almost tried to take out this man's ankle with, I believe, a chair. Yeah, he tried to chair shot this man's ankle locked in between like the barricades. So they're still beefing. Of course, they're going to have their match at Full Gear. Renee tries to interview Chris Statlander. In that same interview, Chris Statlander almost gets ran over by Mercedes in an Escalade, or more so Camille in like Escalade. Which is kind of interesting because inside this promo, Mercedes tells Camille, like, you can't do nothing right. And so we're seeing like the cracks of Mercedes kind of like picking on Camille a little bit. So, and that's the second time because when she didn't beat Stat last week at the Halloween show, she also berated her too. So still throwing little loops there or threads there. Christian Cage finally acknowledges what Kip Sabian was doing. And remember that Kip Sabian stopped him from signing his contract against Danielson. He took the pin. He ran backstage. When he ran backstage, BCC was there. Pac and Claudia were there looking at Christian Cage. And so Christian was like, oh, I see what you did here, which was you stopped me for having a failed cash-in. You knew that they were backstage. You tried to save me so that I wouldn't waste this opportunity on nothing. With this, he's bringing Kip Sabian into the fold of the patriarchy. With that, Nick Wayne is not taking that lightly because it happens anytime Christian Cage gets a favorite. The person who was behind the favorite, he no longer pays attention to. When he had Luchasaurus, it was cool, and then he got Nick Wayne. Luchasaurus wasn't getting the attention, or Killswitch wasn't getting the attention. Now he has Kip Sabian. Nick Wayne's not getting the attention. It started in their little like their feud or their frenzy inside the patriarchy.
Well, your mama's there, nigga. You got attention right there, bro. Your mama's right there, bro. I understand it, but also think it's stupid. Because he doesn't wear a bag on his face anymore. Just use your words, my nigga. Like you stealing my pen and shit.
That's also true. We could
just say like, yo, these racist motherfuckers about to beat you up. That's all you gotta say, bro.
Yeah. Hey, don't do that. Christian in this promo, he has a question for Hook, whereas like he said his dad saw him attack him. Like, your dad seen me attack him. Why did he tell you that I attacked him? Why are you running around here, without like, any clue who attacked your dad when your dad saw me? And he says that's because Taz knew Hook would do better with him than with his own father. And I was like, that doesn't quite make any sense here, but I guess they're trying to make something out of nothing with like the Hook and the Hook angle with Christian Cage. I just think that we need to see them lock up at some point, because all this talking is not doing enough for me. It was 2 weeks of Hook looking for, who attacked his dad. Now who attacked your dad, and there was nothing like going down.
Which is
like the security was there, the security stopped him and whatnot.
Yeah,
but there's nothing.
He attacked some of the security too.
Yeah,
but like, why did Cage attack Taz? I don't understand.
Yeah, we don't know. He's just targeting fathers. I don't.
I mean, that's not a bad angle. Like, months ago, I pitched him making an orphanage of just collecting children with no parents. Like, that's not a bad angle, but you should state that.
For sure.
It's like, I took him out. You damn right I took him out. I took him out because he's a terrible father to you. I could be so much better.
And that's kind of what he said in this promo. That's kind of like, to the gist of it, he said stuff like that in this promo.
Yeah, I know. I feel like they just got a couple of, like, Christian knows how to work. Like, he knows. I just feel like they gotta tighten up the screws a little bit.
He did like semi bar him up though, because he was talking about how, like, your dad was, the star in like this small like indie promo, and once he got into like the big lights, he just couldn't cut it no more. He put his headset on and became a ring announcer. Like, he was barring Taz up a little bit. It was kind of crazy.
It's funny because he was shitting on the Taz and ECW,
like the ECW,
while they were going head to head with NXT, having an ECW show. It's just wrestling's funny. Life is funny.
And that wasn't like, I don't think it was in like hatred or nothing like that. I just think it was a great tie-in of what wrestling was happening in like the wrestling world. Like,
right, it makes sense. Like, Taz is legitimately an ECW wrestler. It's happened. I mean, it seems like they already had this feud booked, so I don't think they pulled this line just because of the head-to-head tonight. Yeah, I feel like that would be a little too tinfoil hat. But either way, like, coincidental wise, it's still funny.
It was a good callback, or like an Easter egg of sorts. Penelope Ford versus Jamie Hayter. They've been announcing this one for about 2 weeks, or marking this match for 2 weeks. They've been beefing with it on Collision too, because I've been watching Collision lately. What should have been like, a Jamie Hayter like show out match was not. It was a Penelope Ford show out match. She had a really good fucking match. Like, she looked great. She hasn't wrestled like 200 plus days, and she looked fucking phenomenal in this match. And I don't know if it was the way that.
Well, wait, I thought Penelope Ford was the girl who was in Japan, or is that somebody else?
No. That's fuck. Well, I'm drawing a blank her name. I see her face in my She's the one who dates Jack. Fuck, what is her name?
Jack, it's not the bunny.
No.
Damn.
Fuck, this is gonna bother me.
My bad.
It's gonna, because I know her name. Cause I've been watching her do her shit. Fucking hell. No, it's not her.
Okay.
I'll get the name. It's probably gonna pop
I'll
back
look it up. Who dates Jack Perry? I'll look it up. Continue.
But yeah, Penelope Ford had a great fucking match. She has been wrestling like 200 plus days. She looked solid. Jamie Hayter also looked solid. There you go, Anna fucking Jey.
Anna Jey.
Fuck, my bad. I apologize. I apologize. You're more than Jack Perry's girlfriend. But yeah, Anna Jey is fucking solid. But yeah, Penelope Ford hasn't been wrestling 200 plus days. She's been injured, and she looks fucking great. Clearly, she's was doing some work and putting some work in somewhere because it was a solid match. Jamie Hayter ends up getting the win though with like a solid I think her finish is called the Hater Ray, which is like a clothesline. It's similar to like Okada shit, but solid fucking match. Now I want to know where we go with Jamie Hayter, like where we have feuds that we have to finish because Mercedes has to finish her feud with Chris Statlander. Like that's what's going on over there. As far as like women's champion, Mariah has to finish with currently Anna Jay. And then, they announced that Mina was coming back next week. But when they announced that Mina was coming back next week, half the screen went black and white. So I would assume that we're also going to see Toni Storm reappear at some point too.
Yeah. I was about to ask you a question, but it's kind of an off-guard question because I was curious about their Australian show, the date. I'll look it up.
I thought it was February, if I'm not mistaken. I thought it was in February. I thought it was in Brisbane, Australia in February.
Yep. February,
but yeah,
February 15th. Because obviously, I'm asking because it's an Australian show, so I'm assuming you would want to, host the Australian talent, a la of like what they did with Rio and whatnot. So, so in saying that, I guess I don't have a question. I'm assuming what they'll do is she'll fight Mina first, Mariah will fight Mina first, and then you hold off until you can get maybe Tony and Mariah too, I guess, in Australia. Because I'm assuming Tony's doing something, right? So, I don't know.
Yeah. So, and I keep mentioning the show because they're announcing the show or presenting the show like it's a big show. But I would assume that, like, you have Mariah versus Mina. And then I know they have a pay-per-view in December, but then you have the big show in January in Tokyo to where Mariah's going to be on that show because she was a former, like, Stardom talent. So I would assume she will be there. And she'll probably wrestle Mina again, maybe, or she find somebody else so that she can go with some kind of like some Stardom talent over there. Yeah, something's going to happen. And then they'll probably do, like you said, Mariah, Tony in February. Like, I think that they'll run that one back for sure. But yeah, I think a lot's we can't predict what's going to happen just yet because a lot's like riding on like this big Japanese show. Like they're talking about, like I said, CMLL, Ring of Honor, Stardom, New Japan, AEW are all going to be at this show, and like they're starting to do the booking now. Like we're starting to see like Mox kind of respond to some of the people in New Japan. So like it's hard to know the direction of where they're going with some of this stuff because they're doing a lot of the groundwork for that show.
Yeah, and what makes your question even a little harder is they announced that we're going to see Britt Baker again. So obviously we know, like what we were talking about with Bloodline Theater, like Britt is going to get time, right? So
for sure,
yeah. So it makes that question like, what's up for like what's going on with Hayter? Even
do you run Britt and Hayter? Like,
I mean, well, apparently they really don't want to work with each other anymore because when they before they both got injured, they were friends, and then something happened. Like when Jamie had to drop her title and all this other shit, like something happened, but because apparently they're not friends, which is why they're not like they haven't shared any on-screen time together since they both returned. Maybe they could patch shit up and make some money and run a feud or something. But yeah, from everything that I've seen from backstage reports from Fightful and even other places where it seems like they're not on good terms, which is why they're so separate.
We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea because a lot of the women's titles are definitely tied up in some shit right now.
I mean, they only got two.
And not to say that like you can't make something out of nothing because like Collision, Thunder Rosa, and Deanna were running shit with like their 7 series matches. Like, there's other ways to be involved in like the show that doesn't revolve around the titles, which is what we want in women's wrestling or in all wrestling actually. But like. Maybe she has to just wait for this pecking order to like go through before she gets her, her next shot, which there's nothing wrong with that. But like right now, it's just, I don't know where you go. Yeah. We'll see. Maybe after this Statlander feud, maybe you fight Mercedes, but even then Mercedes is going to have that belt for a minute too. She's been actually working. She was just in Japan. She was on Collision. She was on Dynamite. Like she's been doing a lot lately. Main event is my match of the week. Fletcher Takeshita versus Ricochet and the the refreshed and not injured Will Hobbs, the returning of Will Hobbs. It was actually kind of cool that how they did this because Ricochet came out and he says
he came out and he dabbed.
But you know why he dabbed?
He said he did it for his stepdaughter.
There you go.
I don't know what that means though, so that's why I'm not going to make fun of it. Because I don't know if that means she's sick or something, or if because he was like, I did it for my stepdaughter, just let her know I'm thinking about her.
Just so I can see you. We do dabs at home, you know, we dab in. Like, I just want you to know that I see you. It's something that you can watch. Like, no, he did that for me.
Then say hi.
No,
certain name.
I'm gonna do something cool.
Dabbing in 2024 is not cool.
If it's for my daughter, it is. Yes, nigga. I'm gonna do whatever it takes. What? Yes.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go to WrestleMania and do the Tootsie Roll. All right. We'll just do shit. Okay. But yeah, for his daughter, I'm not gonna make fun of him. It was funny though. I refuse to say it's
in the promo or like promo before the match. He says, you know, you guys left somebody's contract just expired of the Don Callis family, October 9th. You guys let his contract expire, and he's kind of pissed off. Enter Will Hobbs. Will Hobbs is out of the Don Callis family because they did not renew Will Hobbs' contract. So therefore, he is now a free man to do whatever he wants to do. And we want to talk about returns. Like, he had a great fucking return. Like, you would have thought, like, what fucking knee injury? He came out, he killed. It was solid. They did a nice, like, I think he took Ricochet on his shoulders, and Ricochet did a backflip off his shoulders. Like, super energy in this match from Will Hobbs. Definitely killed it. And then also just on the other end of that, you set up Takeshita too. So we're like, he's doing really solid work. Fletcher did amazing work. Like, it was a really fun match to watch all around. And that's even before like all the shenanigans happened at the end. Like, the match itself was just really good. The Ricochet and them get the win for this. And I was like, damn, why is Ricochet pinning Takeshita? But you kind of have to have him pin Takeshita because he's not going to pin Takeshita in the 1v1. I get it.
Right. And Takeshita, he's the one who pinned Will to take the title. He didn't pin Ricochet.
Yeah. Exactly. There's a reason behind it. And so I understood it, but like the next time when they line up 1v1, and it's like, no, once again, you're going to get put in a nice little body bag here.
I mean, we'll see, because again, Ricochet is a talent that shouldn't be taking too many L's, especially like 1v1 L's. So
it's true.
Whenever they do that match, I mean, I don't know.
And the thing is, like, Rick has been winning his 1v1s though. Like on Collision, he's been having his 1v1 matches. I think he did Leo Rush, he did AR Fox. Both of those matches were solid. So he's been winning. He has a stretch of like singles wins. So that also shouldn't hurt either, because he's winning the matches that aren't Takeshita. Like anybody else, he's been like cleaning house. But yeah, they end up winning this match. Mark Davis comes out to kind of like stop a chair shot, because the chair shot that was happening. So Fletcher lost. He went crazy. He picked up a chair and started hitting everybody. Mark Davis comes out, which is half of the Aussie Open, which is his tie to Fletcher and Ospreay. Cage and Archer show up. They also had matches on Collision 2 where they've been just dominating as a tag team, which has also been very entertaining, because you haven't seen like big evil tag team do crazy shit like that in a while. They stop they stop Davis. Adam Cole comes out, but he ends up getting caught by Takeshita, sets up their fucking match for next week. And then we get the Will Ospreay appearance, which is his first appearance since Fletcher had took him out.
Wrestle Dream, right?
I think that was Wrestle Dream. Yeah, I think so.
The triple threat, right?
Yeah, when he turned him, he turns him in Wrestle Dream. So now we know that the threat is going to be Will Ospreay versus Fletcher at Full Gear. We have Ricochet versus Takeshita. We have I don't know if Mark Davis does anything, if he's going to wrestle. They'll probably do a tag team match before the pay-per-view, but I don't think he's going to be on the card.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh at that, but the way is, I don't know if he's going to do something.
I don't know if he's going to be on the card. It's not in a disrespectful way.
No, I know. It's just, to me, it was funny.
The way it came off. Was kind of crazy. Yeah. So there's threads are being tied here. There's stories is being told here. Like if you've been watching AEW recently, they have been upping their game on the promos to catch you up on what's been happening. For everybody's segments, it's not just the main ones. So definitely check in or tap in. They've been doing pretty solid work with that. SmackDown this week. We get
Smackdown.
They open up with the Bloodline in Buffalo. You also relax what you say about Buffalo.
What, you got family?
No, I'm just saying there's money out in Buffalo. If we get booked out to go to Buffalo, what you gonna do?
Zoom.
That's fucking crazy.
There ain't a damn. Okay, look, I'll be keeping it real. There's not a single reason to look. They got good wings, I guess. Sure, never had them, but they're fake ass Canadians. Let's keep it a buck. They don't wear bubble vests. They don't wear Timberlands. Y'all not real New Yorkers. Y'all fake ass Canadians. That's why you're on the borderline of the Niagara Falls. If I go to see the Niagara Falls, guess where I'm gonna see it? I'm gonna see it on the Canadian side because that's how much I don't like y'all. Y'all some snow rats.
Snow rats is fucking wild.
Well, I was told snow monkeys is too racist.
That's definitely racist. We'll take the rest. Take the rest for sure. 1,000%. But not me, not my words, his words. So all them Buffalo niggas, go to this nigga. Don't come to me.
Fuck the Buffalo Bills. All right.
Is that where it stems from? Is it a Bills thing?
Yeah, that's all where it stems from.
Okay.
That hatred is real. Hatred is real though.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, they're in Buffalo. OG Bloodline is in the ring. It's actually funny because Roman comes out, he gets the mic. Jey comes out, he tries to say something, and then like Sami comes out. Like we don't get any talking until like 15 minutes into like SmackDown. Yeah. But Sami says that he was only at Crown Jewel.
Jey does talk. Roman doesn't talk, but yeah, Jay's like, yo, there's been a lot of misunderstanding. I just need you to hear him out, Oos. And Roman's like, who? You can tell like on his face is like, who? And then you hear Sami's music and he's like, this guy. You want me to hear out this guy?
The De Niro face again.
Yeah. He's really confused. De Niro face, the crow's feet, like, looking eyes. You know, disrespect. Yeah, he's still
that's his shit.
Gorgeous man.
That De Niro face. If I ever see Roman, I'm like, yo, what's up with the De Niro face? Like that's like in your bag. Like you done watch some shit. You watch all his films. You done did that one.
Man, it looks.
Yeah, that's his go-to. But yeah, he's Sami's talking about he was only at Crown Jewel just for Jey. He says that, for a moment there, like, it was special. For a moment there, it felt like we were all family again. It felt for a brief moment we was locked in like we used to be.
Yeah. It was a really good Sami promo. I tweeted about like
it was
before he even finished. Like in mid, I was like, I don't know how people could dislike Sami. Like, I mean, you could dislike him for his hair, I guess. His hair, he looks like a hippie, sure, whatever. But like, no, in-ring ability, promo, like making you feel emotional, like making you invested. These last 2 years, for sure, I just don't know how anyone could dislike this guy.
Yeah. Prior to the 2 years for me with Sami, I think I was like, it's whatever with Sami. I get it. I think because also it was like heel Sami, it wasn't like babyface Sami.
I got more locked in with heel Sami for me. I was literally sorry to cut you out. That's when I got more locked in because I was like, oh, he's dancing, he's talking shit. Like he was the first person to ever mention AEW on Raw. I was like, oh, this nigga locked in. He crazy. when he's a conspiracy theorist, I was like, yeah, like
he's crazy.
When he came back during COVID for the IC title with him, Jeff Hardy, and AJ, and he like handcuffed him. I was like, this is the smartest man on the planet, bro. I know, I'm sorry. But I got more locked in with heel Sami, even though babyface Sami, because I watched him in NXT right before he got caught up. I did resonate with him, but I had the same sentiments where it was like, anytime him and KO had a match, it was amazing. But all the other stuff that he did, and it's also because of Vince's booking, it just was like, whatever, Sami's cool, cool. Man. But when he turned heel, like,
and that's Kevin
Owens, from that Shane McMahon match during Hell in a Cell, like, I was like, when I was like, oh, I'm locked in. Like this, he has, he actually has a legitimate, like, a lot of charisma.
And it took to see him see the charisma, right? And then once he got into the bloodline and he's doing the dance, he got the handshakes. It was like I fell in love. It was like that's it.
Like this dude,
Sami's great.
So we could have
And it was just so much easier to like watch, Sammy do his thing, even after he left the bloodline, because now you're like, okay, I'm expecting Sammy to do like certain things, and I know his personality, know his character traits, that whole nine. So yeah, Sammy definitely grew on me, but it was for sure within like the last 2 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's talking about like the old days. And he says like, I just need, an apology. And Roman's like, you want me to apologize to you? He's like, no, not me. To him, to Jey.
It was such a good moment.
It was.
Because
it was.
Jey had his facial cues on point too, where he's like, it was. There's, I don't know if you've seen a meme about it, but it's like that meme where it's like you about to get into a fight, but your bro like backs you up, and then it's like, you're like, oh shucks, like look at him,
you want to apologize to me?
Care about me? Like
I appreciate that.
Yeah, he did the facial cues great, and then Roman's like you can see like you can tell why Jey and also Sami, but mostly Jey is still like really hesitant to like trust dude, because his ego, Roman is still not over, like even though he is babyface now, there's still that tribal chief ego where it's like he's not over it. He's
eating
like,
him.
It's eating him out.
Eating him, man.
Pause.
It's like
eating him up. I should have said that.
that was fucking crazy. I tried to walk over, but I let that shit play in my head. I was like, that's fucking nuts. The Roman ego thing is very cool, because it's kind of like once again, that Ulafala is like that Green Goblin mask. Like, it's like every time he thinks about the tribal chief or just being the leader, like them old like tendencies come back. You see it happen like multiple times in the segments, in this segment, even in the segment afterwards, where he's like, just on his bullshit. Yeah. But when he says, you want me to apologize? I'm sorry for this man wasting our time, man. We even in family. What are you even doing out here? Hey, Solo! I'm like, oh shit, he's not paying attention to me.
Yeah, he hit with that Solo. We haven't heard that. Solo! And then after that, shit. We get Sammy's like, all right, then fuck it, I'm out. And then as he's walking away, we get Jacob Fatu on the big screen cutting
No, time out. I'm sitting here taking my notes, so my head's down, looking at my phone, taking my notes, and I hear like this crazy ass promo happen. I'm like, who the fuck is talking? And I look up, and it's fucking Jacob Fatu.
With the bird.
Sounded like he had a fucking GTA San Andreas. Like, I'm like, who the fuck is this hood ass nigga on this fucking screen? I swear I thought I was watching wrestling. It was fucking Jacob Fatu.
Shit, I almost missed this. That new Roman shirt is trash. And I wish DT was here to try
with the Yi on the side of it.
It's bad. I don't like it.
Yeah, no.
That's what it was like. Y'all like. I get he prints money. I get it, but like it's the same shirt, just with a fucking comic bubble.
Oh, nah.
A fucking literally a caption bubble.
Yeah, that was trash.
That is a bad shirt. I don't, please, no one buy that. Like, dead ass. Like, they need to like know that was a bad shirt.
Imagine
you can't like,
it's like Christmas and like your mom gets you like the OTC shirt but got the Yi on the side. Like just how slightly disappointing you might be in your.
It's like,
damn, mom, like,
huh? I wanted the original.
This is OTC shirt, boy. It says OTC on it, but it got the Yi on it. I'm gonna yeet your ass across the street. You're gonna take the shirt.
Bullshit ass comic bubble.
I guess, man. Fuck.
Bad shirt. I just had to get that out of the way. And what reminded me is because talking about Solo's thing. Solo has a new shirt. And it has his fucking face with the prayer hands. Also a fire shirt. Not as fire as the wolf one.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, it's cool.
The wolf one's hard.
The wolf one's hard as fuck. Yeah, because he has it all like cut up, but like he has a new shirt too, which is cool.
Okay.
But yeah, after all that, Solo's like, or not Solo, but Fatu's like, Solo will see you at his own time or whatever. He is the real tribal chief.
Yeah.
All this
and he is. It's the thing is like, as much as like, I won't say we downplay Solo's like relevancy in the story. Like Solo is the tribal chief. Like,
he's not.
Has the Lufala.
He has the.
But he is. He has the better team right now. They move in sync. Mm-hmm. Like he's moving like he's supposed to. The only reason why he ain't getting the respect is because Roman's here trying to usurp this nigga's like title or Yeah, title.
Well, it's also because he was jacking Roman. He's still. I mean, even though he again, we talked about multiple times, he's Solo's his personality shining a lot more these last this last month or so. But it all started off with him jacking Roman swag, and also he's still technically doing it by acknowledging me you take it it's like taking a nigga's ad libs
Solo treating his team a lot better. Solo ain't got his people mad at him. He ain't belittling Jacob. He ain't belittling the Tongas. They out. He letting them be who they are.
Yeah,
prayer hands and gangster promos.
That's
yeah everywhere. Like he letting them be who they are. Roman wouldn't allow that shit.
You are right, but still, you're still jacking a nigga swag. That's like me becoming a rapper, and then every song I start off with has the lighter flick. That's Lil Wayne's thing. I'm still in his bit. You can't steal my bit.
I mean, it's cool. You could be the first one. You could be look. You could be Jay Garrick Flash. You could be Barry Allen. Maybe Solo just Barry Allen. It don't take nothing from you.
One of them had a metal hat. There's a different gimmick.
Right. That's fucking funny. Yeah, I mean, I get it. He is still a gimmick. He definitely got the suits and trying to be all sharp. But
no,
he
again,
is the tribal chief.
He has the Will follow. He has the gauntlet. He has Thor's hammer. He has the fucking thing that is the prize. So on paper, sure, but as Jay said a couple weeks ago, you didn't technically earn it. You just took it. But after that, we get a backstage segment where you see Roman and Jimmy walk in backstage, and Jay's like, "I asked you to do one thing, Oos." He's like, Roman retaliates, and he's raising his voice, and essentially Jay's like, "That's your free pass, my nigga. You talk to me any crazier than this, I'm gone." And then he walks away.
Out.
And then Jimmy says something, and Roman's like, well, again, his ego's popping out. He's showing himself. And he's like, "Well, you questioned me too? Then go ahead, go with your brother then." And Jimmy just walks away. So then again, you have that moment where you see a chief without his tribe. Further callback to 2 years ago. Yeah, just good shit. Good writing. After that, we get the first match of the show, which is Bayley and Candice LeRae. It was a good match. Not much to necessarily write about. The ending, I would say, is the most noteworthy part because it's one of those moments where you actually see the babyface outsmart the heel, not being stupid. Because Candice fakes an injury, tries to go for a pin, but Bayley outsmarts her and gets the pin. And, Candice is upset, which plays into something else right after. But either way, it was a good match. Yeah, again, not much of note, but yeah, just a good, solid match. Do you have anything about it? Or?
No, I got nothing.
Weird. After that, we get a backstage segment. Gargano's talking to Motor City, saying, I'm glad y'all here. He's being all jolly. And then they leave, and then Ciampa pops up. He's like, "The fuck you talking to them for? They took our spot. They took our titles. He's like, Shelly.
I've known since I was 19.
I don't give a fuck. They took our spot. We never got a rematch, and now they have our hardware. Nigga, I don't give a fuck I don't give a damn if he babysat you, nigga. I don't give a fuck.
I love that energy from Ciampa. I love it, bro. Hey, yo, what's up with you smiling and shit?
Yeah,
how you smiling? We lost. We losers right now.
Clapping like a seal. No, bro, fuck them.
Good to see you guys. We should have those too. You guys enjoy those. No, fuck that. It's war.
Yeah, and Ciampa's essentially he's like, you said everything it takes, right? Or anything it takes, right? It's time to lock in, motherfucker. And we're about to fight pretty deadly. We're gonna make an example out of him. After that, you see Randy Orton walk right past him, and Randy Orton comes out and he calls out KO. And we get another great segment. And he's like, I'm about to end this shit now. Randy's just popping off. And then you see KO come out with no music. He just slowly walks out methodically. And that's when we see that new shirt that you were talking about. Kevin is right. I might cop. Low-key, I might cop. But he slowly walks out. You see some producers or referees try to stop it. KO fakes like he's going to walk away. Then, a brawl. They start fighting. Brawl happens. Then we get an old school power driver, which sets up a crazy angle to where we see Randy on a stretcher. Michael Cole's like, this move was banned. It's a dangerous move. It's a whole serious thing to where essentially Randy Orton's getting written off right now.
See, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like it was just too dark. I feel like it was really dark and like was the kids okay watching this? I think the stretch was just too much, man. Like, he broke his neck. Like that is.
Is it because
what is wrestling doing right now? How is this on my screen? There's kids watching this.
There are kids.
He broke his neck. He was. You heard those agonizing sounds he was making.
His arm
as he was touching his neck.
Yeah, he did that stiff hand thing that the Dolphins player did every time he got hit. I have a problem.
There was thank you Randy chants. Oh my!
Is it because he didn't?
Man, is he okay?
I think he is okay. Is your problem with it because he didn't like pop up instantly after the power driver and then like hit a springboard RKO? He didn't do.
Pull the bag out. Pull the plastic bag on this nigga and choke this nigga out. Give me some real tears, nigga. Stick a syringe in this nigga's mouth, man. Fuck all this baby shit, nigga. I ain't fuck all that. Make these niggas scream, nigga. Over here talking about, oh my god, look at Randy's neck. Thank you, Randy. Fuck out of here. I'm just joking. But it was funny as fuck to me watching. I was like, these niggas did thank you, Randy chance. But I swear the last time a nigga went on the stretcher, motherfucker was like, it's just too much, man. Like, is it really necessary? Yes, it's necessary for the story. If it's worth the story, it works. That's all. That's my point with this.
Well,
if it's in the story, it works.
If you're comparing this to fucking Wrestle Dream, there was two different versions.
Choke this nigga out.
Damn near manslaughter.
Hey, Aldis, grab the Safeway plastic bag and throw it over this nigga's neck. Let's give these niggas a real rated RKO, nigga. What you talking about?
It was a good moment. I don't know. It's already more over than the Tiger Driver storyline as far as I'm concerned.
Cap. Niggas was fucking pissed off.
Daniel Bryan came back a week later after that Tiger Driver.
This nigga had his neck broken and was touching his neck. These are the worst fucking paramedics ever. You don't let somebody who has a broken neck touch their neck. That's the last thing you do. This nigga flipped over on his side.
They didn't say he had
on his shoulder and shit.
They didn't say he had a broken neck. That was the most. I literally wrote down. That's out of all of wrestling, and that's include WWE. This was some of the most professional protocol. Besides that, touch the neck part, but they never said he had a broken neck.
This nigga took a power driver and lifted his neck up like, thanks guys, nigga.
Hey.
Fuck out of here. It was funny. No, it was funny. All jokes aside, I get what's going on here. In the WWE reference of things, this is cool because we haven't seen a power driver at all. It's a banned move. You're not supposed to do them. There's a reason it's a banned move in WWE because motherfuckers were doing it in WWE. It was really fucking niggas up.
I mean, it's a banned move in like, legitimately certain states, which is like why at certain AEW shows you won't even see it done because it's a legit in certain states like the move is banned. It's a banned.
And when you do see certain talent do it, it's always a talent that is the most trusted to do it. Because even when you watch KO do this, like, power driver, breaking the wall a little bit, it was the most protected power driver.
Oh, yeah. Possible. It was the safest shit possible, which is why, they edited it the way that they edited it. Because, I saw someone on Twitter complaining. I forgot who it was. It was either to Bischoff or it was Raj, the Indian dude. But they're like, oh, you could tell, his head never touched the mat. I was like, yeah,
it's that's the point, nigga.
Yeah, that's exactly the point. We're not trying to injure someone who legitimately has who had back problems and shit. Neck problems.
Fuck, bro? What's wrong with you niggas?
And that's why you make the move look as dangerous as possible because I'm not. When you do crazy powerful moves and then someone just pops right back up, it does not make it as believable. The reason why they're making this so dramatic is because, again, it's a quote unquote real banned move, and it's supposed to look terrifying or it's supposed to hurt.
Right.
It's one of those moves where that's why it's please don't try this shit at home.
For sure.
Yeah, that's
it was one of those moves that they banned it because kids were doing it.
Yeah, and it fucked up Stone Cold.
It's funny because as soon as I saw the Smackdown, I was on Twitter and they showed the Stone Cold Owen Hart clip where he dropped that nigga on his neck and that nigga shit was fucked. It definitely shaved 4 years off Stone Cold, easily.
Yeah,
Um,
honestly, a couple
but
more
yeah,
because like his work rate, like as a
was
child,
lower.
we think it was fire, but like he like most every show, all he did was like really just stun people. Like he didn't really wrestle that
Yeah,
often. Like it took a lot of years probably off of him, honestly.
yeah.
Um,
So once again, I understand it for the WWE angle. This is a big moment for WWE and WWE storylines because, like, once again, we haven't seen nobody do that move like in a really long time. Nobody better to take it than Randy. Nobody to better give it than KO. Pause. That sounds crazy. But like
but
that
no,
was
you
the
are
safest
factual
option.
because speaking of Stone Cold, like when Stone Cold came back a couple years ago, who did he fight? He fought KO. And like he's like
Yeah,
KO power bombed him outside of the on the ring apron or or not at the apron, but like on the floor. Like they chose KO. Like
yeah.
KO is clearly a safe ass fucking
The
worker.
safest, yeah,
You know,
easily probably one of the safest workers in WWE. But yeah, I liked it for the implications of what it lines up with, right? He hit him with a band move. Randy's on the shelf, presumably until, Saturday night main event, I'm assuming. If not, I
essential.
maybe go a little bit longer, maybe. I don't know. And then also I'm thinking like, are we gonna go band move for band move? Do we get a punt kick?
I mean, we haven't got one since the pandemic, but yeah, that has
Can,
to be the retaliation,
can
right?
we
You have to
a
get
punt
a.
kick? Can we get a band move for a band move? Let me get a punt kick one time. H, like let's.
I feel like we're getting a punt kick. We have
I
to get
need
a
a
punt
punt
kick.
kick.
We have to
I
get a
need a
punt
punt
kick.
kick. Punt kick was like, I don't know if that's like circa like 2008, 2007 or whatever, but that was like my move in the SmackDown versus Raw games. The punt kick was so fucking dope.
It's
But
back
also
in
one
the
of those
games
moves that
now.
like
It's back in the games
one
now.
of those
But
moves that you don't do in real life. That's why it's a
oh
bad move. Once again, do not do that.
yeah, because you
That
should
is
just be kicking motherfuckers straight in the head, bro. Like what? Like
oh
no.
yeah.
But yeah, no. I feel like we have to get bad move for bad move.
Band move for band move makes
Because
sense.
I feel like that's what the story is leading to. But even then, like KO's gonna come back. He might hit somebody with the apron power bomb, which is why there's a lot of speculation. Like maybe he beat Cody. Maybe he does to Cody what he did to Sami Zayn when he went to NXT and took the title off and do that apron power bomb straight to the spine. I don't know. We'll see.
Which is it's also crazy because there's a couple moves that KO could do. Like his pop-up powerbomb is banned too, right? I thought like
No,
that was also one of the ones.
no, it's not banned. It's
He
just
has
he just switched it up for the stunner, and like it just doesn't like now it's like a signature.
okay.
He like rarely like fucking yeah, he rarely does it now. But it wasn't banned.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't think to my recollection, no one's ever gotten hurt from it because it's mostly
It's him.
it's
Like
mostly
I take a pop up from
it's,
KO.
yeah, it's just jump up and let me powerbomb you. All you gotta do is protect your
exactly.
Yeah, so
And as far as like the
probably safer than
storyline
a last
goes,
ride. That's for fucking sure. No, I think
fuck yeah, nigga. I would definitely take a pop up over a last ride or a fucking priest like fucking South of Heaven or some shit. Nigga, you gonna be fucked up. As far as story implications for this, it does push KO even further. Because remember, H was saying, like, hey man, like, I'm trying to protect you from him. I tried. And you wanted this match. He don't want a match. He want to just fucking end you. And lo and behold, he ended you.
Yeah.
This further pushes him in a different light. Do we like the idea, not the idea, but the fact that like Cody was there at the ambulance, right? I know that he's there. It's foreshadowing that Cody's going to fight KO and whatnot, but should it have been Cody in the ring talking about KO, get down here? Or was that the right play? Like, did you like that? Did you not like that?
I was fine with it. What I didn't like was because, obviously they always do like a match or something after SmackDown goes off the air, and then you see like Cody have a match. So it, even though we obviously it's 2024, it's hard to keep kayfabe, quote unquote. I just wish that he didn't have a match, just to make it look like because he got in the hospital, he got in the ambulance, and then came back to the show.
Came back and had a match.
Yeah, he was like, I'm gonna drive to the hospital with you. Even though, like in that scene, he's like, I'm gonna stay with him. So essentially, you did stay with him. You went to the hospital and then came right back. So in theory, if I'm Randy Orton, this is more smoke for when I do turn on you, my nigga. Like
you left me in the hospital when it had a match.
Yeah, like it wasn't taped. It wasn't aired. It was a dark match. Like, okay, you gonna leave me for a dark match?
And it's crazy. That's funny. For a dark match, it's hilarious.
So that's not even canon.
with like situations like this, and I asked that question of like, was it okay or not? Because I remember like we have conversations where it's like, man, sometimes you just want shit to like breathe a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking like, what if like if you let that breathe? What if that was like the last shot to the SmackDown where he got fucking power drive and the show goes off? Like I think that's like, oh fuck, like that's a good way to end the show.
Yeah.
Versus like in the middle of the show and it's like Cody's like there and it's like the whole thing. So I wanted that moment to be a little bit bigger, but also get like
We had the
you're not having Bloodline.
Yeah, Bloodline theater.
Bloodline gets that last 45, which is some bullshit. But that they run it. They run the fucking numbers.
And another reason they did it, I feel like again, is because obviously it's a 2-hour show. They had to have Cody in the show somehow, and they probably just didn't want to do like some random pre-tape promo about him beating Gunther or something. So this was their way, because if you know, like, I didn't notice it until in the show, but like LA Knight's not on the show at all. Like, and he's only mentioned one time, and that's only because of when we talk about the new title. Like, and they like his name was mentioned one time. He wasn't even on the show. Andrade wasn't on the show. Carmelo was on the show. So it's like I feel like that was also their cheap way of like, all right, just so you guys know, Cody's here. Like he's
right.
He's not on a break or nothing. He's like physically here. So I think that was their way of doing that, and also again making it more dramatic and sticking up for your friend and all this shit.
Next match was so you get a DIY Pretty Deadly match, but they treat DIY or Pretty Deadly like jobbers because Ciampa went in and just fucking smacked both of them. They've been tagging his partner and just left.
Super aggressive. We get shades of the Black Heart, which I think Cole even mentioned, or Graves, one of them. But yeah, you're right. Like that's the only part I'm not okay with, because I really do like Pretty Deadly.
You have to be careful when you do that, because like Pretty Deadly is a great team, but they're also like we're the joke guys. We're the musical aspect. Like we want to keep them, still like in the mix of shit, to where like getting jobbed out by one dude in a tag match is fucking nuts.
Just to make
like losing
strong.
Is one thing.
Yeah, losing is one
exactly
thing,
like.
Yes, it's giving Billy and Chuck vibes, but even then, Billy and Chuck they won some matches because of Rico and shit.
Yeah,
like, they got wins and shit. So like that's why I'm not. Okay,
and Pretty Deadly's nice, bro. They're good.
Like, they're really like people who never seen NXT UK like and barely watched NXT when they were NXT. Like they don't like Pretty Deadly are really really fucking good. Like. You get Pretty Deadly and like Street Profits a 20 minutes, you're gonna see some fucking match. Give Pretty Deadly 20 minutes with any tag team on the show, you're gonna see some fucking heat,
some good shit.
They just haven't.
Yeah,
they're not getting
it's
the
opportunity in booking. Opportunity in booking is like that will fuck you over, yo.
Yeah,
and hopefully that's not the case. But like, hey, like we're threading on we're at the bottom here.
Yeah,
we can't go lower than this line.
They're getting close to Fashion Police, which I love the Fashion Police. But then it's like they didn't win anything. They never did anything. Like, and Pretty Deadly they're so good. Like they're good on the mic.
Too good for this shit.
They're too good to just
exactly
for one dude to beat them. Like, but I do understand what they're trying to do with Ciampa and Gargano. But I disagree with this booking decision personally. Absolutely,
yeah,
I didn't like it.
Same.
I didn't like it. After that. Real quick. Fuck the Bills. They show some Bill players. Fuck the Bills. You see, we get a quick Nia Tiffany backstage segment, and Candice is like, if I was there, you wouldn't have lost, type of thing. So Candice is kind of trying to make her way to First Apprentice, and Tiffany's getting jealous, which that plays into something later in the show. Then we get Motor City Machine Guns versus Grayson Waller. It was a cool match. Motor City Machine Guns win. After that, another backstage segment where DIY calls out Motor City saying, like, we want next, but then Profits show up and is like, we got next. We already talked to all this. And Ciampa, that makes Ciampa even more upset. The thing that it was most notable to me in this little backstage segment was how tiny Motor City looks next to Street Profits. They look like children standing next to them. Like,
I think they're like 5'4" or something like that. They're small dudes.
These niggas is tiny compared to the Street Profits. Like I was like, oh my god, like they look so tiny. Yeah, that shit was wild to me. But Either
So
overall, a good segment. But
with this promo, though, we saw that Ciampa gets irritated. He walks off. Do we think that Ciampa interferes in this match next week?
probably.
Which is some bullshit. But yes, I'm right there with you.
More than likely, because I don't know. I don't know. We again, like we talked about the push and stop go with the Profits. There's been a lot of talk about separation with interviews and also just with fans. There's been whether it's storyline or not. There's obviously been Montez in the last couple of interviews has been vocal about how he's felt. So who knows? So in saying all that, I wouldn't be surprised if Triple H didn't want them to lose clean, just to like not make them go further down the totem pole. I wouldn't be surprised. So yeah, I would. So in saying that, yeah, I would assume maybe we get an interference,
And like,
or even just distraction, even just like coming out to the ramp and a dude is like, what the fuck is he doing out here for a quick roll up or something.
And what's fucked up, bro, is like, let's say hypothetically, right? Because we know Motor City Machine Guns just got the belts. They're not losing those belts anytime soon. So what ideally would probably happen is like, you have this match, Ciampa interferes. The following week, you have DIY versus the Profits because they interfered. And that ends up going into like Survivor Series where we do like the fucking trio triple threat match of Survivor Series. And then fucking Motor City Machine Guns probably end up winning that. Like, that's why I hate the way that, like, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but that makes the most logical sense to me. But I just hate that, like, that's the path to get there, right? Yeah. Instead of, like, having a definitive, like, oh, this team will fake this team at the pay-per-view and a regular tag team match, we'll add another third tag team in there just to have, like, one of the teams get protected with the pin and whatnot. Like, it's not going to happen. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen.
There could always be a swap because I will say this. There's a caveat because AEW does book differently. But that's the same mindset that I had, like when they added Konosuke to that Ricochet and Will Ospreay match. I was like, oh, they're only added Konosuke so that he could be the one to take the pin. Because in my mindset, it was too soon for Ricochet to lose or take a pin, and I was like, you don't want Will to take another fucking pin, but Tony swerved us. Again, that is a different company, but your thought process is not wrong because, like, if you pay attention to wrestling. I mean, you're just being a smart nigga. Like, I mean, you're not wrong. Like, that's more than likely what might happen. They might do a couple swerves or something, but that might be there's a high chance that will be the route.
If Profits or DIY like take the belts off of Motor City Machine Guns this early, I would be thoroughly surprised. I would be like, oh, this is different. Like, we have some different minds back there. But the thing is, Motor City Machine Guns are just too good. Them niggas are so nice. It's a breath of fresh air when they get in the ring and like they wrestle as a true tag team. Not that sounds disrespectful, but like they just bring tag team energy back. Like it's man. I don't know. They're just really fucking good.
I'm assuming DIY will get it back, but it won't be until DIY goes full heel, unless they break up.
I like that.
I hope they don't break up because I don't see anything for Ciampa or Johnny's single, unless Ciampa went after LA Knight. That would be a good feud.
That's what I'm saying.
That would be fire.
That'd be hard.
But I don't know if we need to break up another team. Like we're like the tag team division on both shows are just now starting to get good again because like Bloodline dropped their shit once. Now War Raiders are back. We got Motor City. Like they're starting to finally bring some life into it. And obviously Ciampa's like starting to freak out. So I would say maybe DIY goes to like full heel. Then we'll maybe get a switch up. Because as of right now, Bloodline, Grayson and Waller, or no, Grayson and Theory, LWO, or not LWO, Legato, and then
Legato.
And Pretty Deadly. And Legato and Pretty Deadly are probably equal as far as like how strong they are. Pretty Deadly just got beat by one guy. So then, all you have is Grayson and Bloodline. So we'll probably, DIY will probably switch heel unless they try to do it with Profits again. But I feel like Profits are too light. I don't know.
I think Profits got to do something extreme. Like you got to take a chair and like hit somebody. Like they got to like really like.
They tried it
do
with
some
Bobby though.
Shit.
When they beat up Rey Mysterio and they were getting cheers, and that's tough. That's exactly
tough,
like they tried to turn the Pride heels. They tried, and then they had to go back to face and fight Final Testament.
I think that's the issue. I think like let Montez lead the heel movement of the Profits. Like let him go in and like I'm gonna hit somebody with this chair. I don't like none of y'all. Y'all still in my spot. Y'all still in our shine. Like, I'm gonna hit you with a chair. I'm taking somebody out. That way you can build up some kind of heat. That would be really cool to me.
Yeah. All right. So after that, we get the announcement, because before the show started, we were told that Aldis has a was a life changing or career moment, just a history making change or moment for wrestling, and essentially it is a women's mid card title. SmackDown is getting the Women's United States Championship. And there's a lot of people online that are instantly saying it should go to Mia Yim / Michin, which I'm not opposed to. I agree with some of those arguments. I have a counter offer.
Let's hear it.
Chelsea Green. My other counter.
That's tough.
Naomi.
Okay.
So, and here's my logic. Naomi, you get the in-ring work and the entertainment factor. Chelsea Green, you get the entertainment factor. / the I do ball is life. I do I'll die for the shit factor. And then with Mia, all you get to me is I'll die for the shit factor.
So, here's my logic with what you just gave me. With Naomi, I love the idea of her having it, but I think Naomi should be women's champion. I think she is mid to high tier and leaning more towards high tier than mid tier. But also also in the same vein, you need somebody to like carry that, to be like, hey, you're a high tier person, but we need you to carry it because it's going to be that important, right? And then you would have like a Michin beat her, and then she can get like shot up the rocket, which makes sense to me. But also on the flip side, to have Michin win it, okay, you're here now. Like, you can only go up from here. So if you give it to Michin, we just have to book her to where like you are going to look great with this, right?
Right. And I like Michin, but all her best matches are matches that involve weapons, and we can't make every match a weapons match.
No, absolutely not. And that's where like it's weird, because I do agree that Michin should be that mid card champion. This belt is literally made for her, but it's like we need you to like have good matches that don't involve weapons or like stipulations.
Yeah.
With Chelsea Green, it's the like I said, the entertainment value, right? But I don't want the belt to go to somebody entertainment based off rip. Because then you put the stigma of it's just entertainment again. Like, it's just another women's belt where they're just being entertaining and they're funny. And what's the difference between this mid card and like the 24/7 title? I don't want that to be the case. Give this motherfucker to somebody who's gonna fucking fight. I want somebody who wants it, who's gonna put on shows or put on the matches night in, night out. And that's where like Naomi does make the most sense.
Okay, at least I have one last crazy offer or counter. Charlotte Flair.
If she would take it, I don't think she would take it.
I think she would, because then you can pause her breaking her dad's record, because I want to say she's only 1 or 2 away from breaking her dad's record. She's not that far away,
and she has to do it at a Mania,
and
for sure.
Yeah, and then you put it on someone credible, so it doesn't feel like a joke or entertainment. And then also it keeps her out of the main title picture, which is where she's always at.
And well, I'm gonna ask a question. Like, is this, since we don't have a Raw one, is this for all the women right now? As of right, just one?
No, as of right now, it's SmackDown, which means which more than likely means we're getting a women's IC. Based off of what we know, it's like, because Aldis, like, if this was for both shows, it would have been Aldis and Adam announcing it.
True.
Based off of what we've seen in the last couple of months, because anytime they did something for both shows, both of them were announcing it. Like, they did it for Crown Jewel, they did it for a couple other things. So, in theory, or based off or on paper, it seems like the SmackDown or the US title is just for SmackDown, which means in theory, then Raw is going to get the IC.
I'm thinking, like, who else could we throw in there? Like, Naomi's in there. I don't know where the fuck Blair is at, but you can throw Blair in there too. Like, just those women who are great singles wrestlers, just get them in there. Piper will be a great,
be a good
women. Like, I'm interested. I think we're onto something with Michin and Naomi. These are all great fucking options.
Michin's a fan favorite, and we know that we know Triple H is online. I'm not mad if Michin is the first person. I like Michin. I'm fine with it. But yeah, no, like I said, my hypothesis is like if we're doing ring work / entertainment or just all these different like attributes, to me, honestly, Naomi, Chelsea Green, or Charlotte. I mean, I think it depends on the factors because I didn't think about the like when I brought up Chelsea Green, like what you said about it. So, like, yeah, it depends on all the factors to me.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I'm as long as it's for me in WWE, it's just as long as it's booked correctly, right. I'm fine. Booked with effort. There it is. That's it. Booked with effort, and I'm good to go.
Facts. All right, so after that, we get the essentially it's the main event. Yeah, Solo comes out because it's supposed to be the undisputed tribal chief announcement or celebration or some shit like that. And then he says acknowledge me and all this other stuff. Then Roman comes out. Roman's like, I'm not here to acknowledge you because Solo's like, are you finally here to do this? He's like, I'm not here to acknowledge you. I'm here to fight you. And then again, we see more characteristics of Solo. Like, again, he's like, it's giving me that Wesley Snipe Demolition Man vibe. Like, it's just like he's not the Joker, but he's still a funny villain. Where he's not like he's showing so much personality. He's like, why did I fight you? I'm already the fucking tribal chief.
I don't need to fight you. Like you want me to accept a 1v1? You have nothing to offer me. I already have everything. It's bars, man.
And he's like, but
bar up.
Let me instead I'll challenge you to a 5v5 and let's go to war. And Roman's like, he does like super De Niro face. He's like, you talk about war games?
War games?
You gonna do war games? Okay, well, I only see 4 of you. Who's your 5th? Oh, my dog Sami Zayn. And then you see Roman look a little upset. And then that's when the fighting starts. So Roman gets jumped. Then Jimmy and Jey eventually come out. The numbers game happens. Then you see Sami come out. He's walking. It's very similar to what happened in Crown Jewel. You kind of can't tell what side he's going to be on based off of his facial expression and how slowly he's walking. At this point, Solo's about to spike Roman. But he's like, he tells Sami to come in the ring. Come here, kick him in the face. Kick him in the face. Honestly, probably the best line of the show.
But callback.
Yeah. Also, yes. Oh, you're right. Correct.
Huge callback.
Also, yeah.
The Sami and the KO, like it's just a huge callback to where like the tribal chief telling you what to do. Yeah. You're gonna hit him in the face.
Kick him in the face.
Yelling at hit him. Like they're good at like the tie-ins, and like to be fair, I guess like you have to be good when all 4 or 5 years now. That's been the story, right?
Right. And
so all these moments are fairly documented,
and they're actually being paid, or the writers and shit are actually being paid to pay attention. Like
exactly.
As opposed like there is continuation, and then so Sami goes for the kick, but he doesn't kick Roman. He kicks Solo so hard his shoe falls, his shoe comes off.
Yeah, he lost his shoes. I was like, oh shit.
And then we get the ending, which is you get all 4 throwing up the ones.
Are you in or are you out? Like he mouths his words as he looks at Roman. Like, you in or you out? I'm like, ooh, it feels good.
It feels good. It was a good shit. It felt good. But no, also notice Roman still did not apologize to nobody. So
not a single soul.
No, and we still don't.
And it's funny how easy. Oh man, it's funny how easy he's able to like manipulate like not only the bloodline but also the fans, right? To where like he'll sit there like Jey pops up and like we're gonna do this match at Crown Jewel. He says one yeet, and everybody thinks he forgives everybody. Everybody thinks that's an apology, and they're back together.
He gets a shirt because of it. He gets a shirt because of it.
Like, there's still some damage that he's done, bro. He has to acknowledge that he was a terrible person, and he doesn't need to do it because the fans are not paying attention to it like that. Yeah, I think this is I think it was great. I think it was a good fucking match, or not match, but good promo. I got one question though. With this angle, we know that like we're leaning into like, you know, Brock versus Roman at WrestleMania. That's kind of where they're headed. That's where, at least that's where we think they're going with it. And at some point, Brock would have to take Solo's power away. So it's like, how does he do that? How does Rock take the?
They lose War Games, and then Rock is like, "We're gonna do this shit my way now." I guess would be my only other way, because that's like when Solo first started doing the whole, you know, I'm the tribal chief shit. We all thought, or at least it seemed like he was going to be a puppet for the Rock this whole time. But it seems like he really is the tribal chief.
Right.
To where, you know, like, well, no, we can't say what the Rock said or what he thinks, but based off of what we saw during Bad Blood or whatever, it doesn't seem like he's upset with Solo. Obviously, he's upset with family fighting family and whatnot. So yeah, to answer your question, I feel like the easiest way, and easy doesn't mean better, and it doesn't mean good. It means easy. The easiest way would probably be like they lose the War Games match because they already won the Crown Jewel match. They lose against the OG Bloodline, and Rock is like, you know, let me take over. You know, and maybe even Rock does his own manipulation where he's like, you are the tribal chief, but I'm I forgot what he called himself, the Emperor Chief or the Chief and Council or some shit. I don't remember what it was. But he could manipulate his way to the hierarchy, similar to what he did with TFK or TKO.
Yeah.
My big question, and I mean, we still have plenty of time to figure this out, and I would like DT's input on this also, but what happens, like, as far as Jey and Sami go, what happens for them after War Games? Because unless this is going to be a 4v4, 4v5, or 5v5, like, for the next, like, half a year, like, what are they going to do? Because, again, they're also still on separate shows. You know, like, what happens after this War Game match? Whether they lose or whether they win, OG Bloodline, like, what happens? Like, I don't. Do you
Solo
see
and Jacob?
Right, but do you see OG Bloodline sticking together? Because I don't. So it's like, how do you split?
No,
them
no,
up?
I mean, but the thing is, it is Mania season to where like you could do both, and they have usually during the crunch time, the Q4 of like wrestling, like they do both.
I mean,
but you're right. I don't know how. Unless people are coming over for Netflix in January, like unless you are getting, you know, Bloodline to come over, something would have to happen at Survivor Series that like shakes shit up, you know, like a rift of some sort. Where if it is Rock, like no, Rock's like, oh, I'll take over SmackDown. You guys gotta go take over Raw, kind of thing, or like a Bloodline takeover kind of like situation. Right. Similar to like how we see in like, you know, AEW when they're fighting for the company and whatnot. But imagine if Bloodline did add more people and took over both shows.
Right, and we know that they
a bigger fucking vortex.
Lance Anoa'i, he's been signed since summer. We got Hikuleo,
and then like Hikuleo, like we still got a couple of them.
Zilla Fatu, he's always out there.
I don't need this vortex to expand. By the way, I'm just thinking like hypothetically,
it's becoming its own Game of Thrones at this point. It's not even a vortex. It's going to be its own. It's a universe.
It is. I mean, shit, they add in an hour for these motherfuckers. Like it's its own thing.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they do after this. Like I said, it would have to be something like big shifting. Like I don't know what that Saturday looks
night, like because the January Netflix isn't until January, so like they could still do what you just pitched with what The Rock does, but they still have plenty of they still would have a month and some change to even need to do that. The Survivor Series is this month still. They still have all December, and then they don't go to January or Netflix until
unless somebody gets injured. Like you injure somebody got to sit on the shelf for a little bit. Like I don't know. Yeah. I genuinely do not know. This is the first time we've ever encountered this.
I
have no idea.
It's very. I'm very curious, but only time will tell. It's not our job, but that's in the SmackDown.
Yeah, that's it. That's the end of the show. Overall, like, I think once we get back to, a non-tape version of Raw, things would be a little bit more cohesive. Not saying the Raw was bad, but like, I need them to all be in the States for it to make sense and not pre-taped. But yeah, overall week was good. There was a lot of solid fucking wrestling, a lot of good stories being told on everything. We still got a couple weeks before we hit our first pay-per-view. So next week's episode should be a regular episode. It also should be the return of DT. As he said, he should be available to come pod with us. We'll see how that goes.
Which his car was here. I don't know what he was doing, but his car was here this whole night.
I mean, he's part-time.
Yeah, I know. I'm just talking shit.
We're the essential workers of this joint. That we're the ones who make this shit work. All right. But with all that being said, with that being said, we're gonna get out of here. It's been real. We're gonna catch you guys in the next one. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see you guys later. Peace out.
Too sweet.